Where is it?
Well, we're live
There
now,
we go.
man.
There
Chill.
we go.
It started before we even knew. We're 8 seconds in already. What the hell?
It's taking too long.
I know. Look, still 0. We are at 0 right now, but we're waiting up. We have 1. All right, we got to get to 3.
Coming. It's coming.
3 is coming because guess what? Today, kids, we have very, very special guests. And I'm not talking small bus special. They're actually special people. And they are great musicians, and they're a great band called FUZZBUBBLE, also known as Cult Stars from Mars. Once in a while, they're known as Regina Spektor. But either way, we'll be talking with those guys in a second. But before we get to that, we have to get to the damn intro. So somebody called 2 other people. See, now we're back to 0 again. What the hell? Why isn't your mom watching?
It's her birthday. Happy birthday to my mom.
Oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday, Ms. Morocco.
It's a big one,
happy birthday
too.
to you. What, 12?
Yeah. No, that's me.
Oh, yeah. Well, not your IQ or your shoe size.
No, I won't
say that. Accurate age, not your shoe size.
Yes. I won't say how old she is, but it is her birthday.
Does it rhyme with mixty?
Yes.
Well, you know what? In honor of your mom, I may forego the 3 person thing, just because we want to get going. Jay from FUZZBUBBLE has a hard stop at 8 p.m. California time, so
all right,
I want to make sure
then let's get moving.
Go pick up a hurricane. So you know what? I am breaking the rules today, and I'm going to start the intro with less than 3 people. This is a banner event, ladies and gentlemen. We're breaking our own rules. We're going to make this happen. Ladies and gentlemen, the intro. Cover to Covered is a podcast that features 2 idiots talking about music at length, and occasionally a dog does make an appearance. There will also be special guests from time to time that will show up, and they will be smarter than the hosts. And the hosts will give their opinions. By the way, they are exactly that. Opinions. They're not truths, they are not fallacies, and they do not reflect the views or opinions of their employers or those they employ. So with that, just enjoy the damn show. All right, so I screwed up.
Why?
Because
you used the wrong intro?
No, I used the right intro, but I made it September 28th. It's not the 28th. It was 28 ST. So it's September 28th. All right, cool. Well,
you're inventing months.
Yes, I'm inventing days of the month. February 32nd. Great. Well, welcome to Covered. My name is Mike Venezia. This is Nick Morocco. Nick, what store do you own, sir?
Rock City Music Company.
And where can we find you?
RockCityMusicCo.com. Unless you're local in the Detroit area, you can find us at 5 Mile in Farmington in Livonia.
And what brand announcement did you have today? Exciting news from Rock City Music Company.
We are the Southeast Michigan exclusive Reverend Guitars dealer after a very long wait, but it was worth it.
How long did the other guy have that? How many decades?
25 years.
20 from the beginning, from the inception of Reverend, right?
It started in his back room. Joe Naylor was building the guitars in his back room, so they had a gentleman's agreement. Until he decided he was okay with somebody else getting it or retired, that's what he did. The great Joe of Joe's Music, retired and is passing the Reverend torch to me, which is awesome.
Well, congratulations. Best of luck with that. Reverend makes great guitars. And I'm sure you guys and gals out there that play guitar know that. We don't have to mention that. You guys are going to really enjoy visiting the store and seeing that wall of guitars at this point. Yes, sir.
Yes. I have breaking news. I've just been texted. Apparently Coolio has died.
What?
I don't know if this is confirmed. It came from a reliable source.
I mean, well, let's say, well, we may have to stop the show early.
Yeah, in remembrance of Coolio.
I'm gonna have to,
Hang on, I'm looking this up because this is important.
Because really,
he's dead.
He's dead.
Coolio is
dead.
Breaking news on Covered to Covered.
Oh my God, you're hearing it here second. Coolio is dead. I couldn't even tell you first.
Wow, I'm in shock.
I literally spent most of my life living in a gangster's paradise, and now I don't know what to do with myself.
You're not going to be able to go on a fantastic voyage, that's for sure.
I will not. It's amazing. But here's the deal.
Put Paul McCartney's comment up.
Oh, God. He took a fantastic voyage to the afterlife.
Wow, that's horrible.
Oh, my God. That is terrible. All right, look, we are being mean. Coolio actually is kind of an institution. Funny Coolio story. Are you familiar with Wayne Static from Static X?
Of course.
Wayne had very tall hair. He looked like the Slim Jim guy, right?
Yes.
So Wayne was driving in L.A. It was obviously before he passed away. Otherwise, he wouldn't be driving. If so, it'd be very dangerous. But he was driving. He was stopped at a light, and Coolio pulls up next to him. Now, we know what kind of hair Coolio had.
Yes, right? Some of the best.
Some of the best, all those little kind of braids sticking out like antennae coming out of his head. He looked over at Wayne and goes, "Dude, what the fuck's up with that hair?"
That's incredible.
I mean, come on. Hello, pot. Meet kettle. Anyway, that's the only Coolio story I have. But I do have the Cooking with Coolio cookbook, and you should buy it right now. Go on Amazon, buy it right now.
It's about to be $300.
They're going to be $300 each, exactly. And it's it's the funniest because you got to read it in Coolio's voice, and there's there's cursing on every other page, like take 2 motherfucking cups of flour. It's like hysterical. It's nuts. Anyway,
slide, slippity slide.
Exactly, there's stuff like that going on. All right, I'm going to try to keep the cursing a little bit less this week.
Sorry,
because we do have special guests, so it's not going well so far. But anyway, so today we're going to do a power pop roundup, and we're going to do it with a band called FUZZBUBBLE that are waiting just below us here on screen. They're going to be coming in shortly, but just want to talk about a couple of things really quick. Nick, let's get into what's coming out on Friday. What releases did you want to highlight for this Friday?
So I got 3 for everybody. One thing I'm really looking forward to, the full show of Alice Cooper, what they're calling Live from the AstroTurf. This was recorded in 2015 at Good Records in, I believe, Texas. It's been issued. There's been a couple tunes on 7 inches for Record Store Day, but this is the first time you're getting the full show. And it's available on glow in the dark vinyl or apricot vinyl from your indie retailers, and they both come with a copy of the documentary about how this happened, as well as the performance on DVD. Come with the vinyl. If you want a Blu-ray, you got to get the CD.
Okay,
that's how they get you. But great show, all the original Alice band except Glenn Buxton, of course, who has passed away. Ryan Roxy of Alice Cooper's current band, who we'll be talking about in a little bit. Steps in for Glenn Buxton.
He was recently shopping at your store, from what I remember, right?
Yes.
He came in, he bought his own record.
Yes. Well, he posed with it. He posed with it. He didn't purchase it. But Scotty, the manager at Rock City, put that record out. Roxy 77 Amerisweet. So, but yes, he steps in for Glenn Buxton. It's a great performance, and everybody's looking forward to it coming out. So that's awesome. The new album from Slipknot, which is called The End So Far, is released on Friday. Indie exclusive is a yellow vinyl. There's a couple other variants, of course, the regular black vinyl. And of Mike, I'm sure we're going to talk about this today, but the official release date of something you and I are very excited about, Jellyfish, When Memories Fade, 7-inch box set. It's got a book. It's got 7 inches, 3D glasses. There it is. I haven't gotten mine yet. I have not gotten mine yet.
And you got the black vinyl, right? Or did you wind up with the colored vinyl?
I've got a colored coming from the UK from a friend of mine who was nice enough to order me one.
Don't be racist. Don't call it.
Oh, that's not nice. Don't say that.
That's wrong.
But I also have the regular edition coming tomorrow because I'll be getting it through our supplier. But
nice. But it's coming out officially in the U.S. now.
Tomorrow.
That's great.
Or Friday, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this thing is, I only opened it like I took the shrink off it and that was it. Like I haven't even like looked at the records, but I mean, like this is what you're getting in here. You're getting 7 inches, all of them different color vinyl, all the singles from Jellyfish throughout the years. This one happens to be The King is Half Undressed and Calling Sarah's on the B-side. What else do they have? It's
there's a couple in there that those B-sides are exclusive to that box if you want them on vinyl.
Yeah. Baby's Coming Back and All I Want Is Everything. Now She Knows She's Wrong and Bedspring Kiss, and the B-side is She Still Loves Him and Baby's Coming Back Again. I Want to Stay Home and Jet.
There you go. Jet's one of them.
That's one of them. And The Ghost at Number 1, B-side is All Is Forgiven. New Mistake and He's My Best Friend. And the last one is No Matter What by Badfinger cover, a Badfinger cover, along with B-side is Think About Your Troubles. So this is a pretty, when it came in via FedEx, when I got it the other day, I was like, holy crap, this thing is massively heavy. It's done well.
Good.
It's done really well, and the book is nice, and the poster's awesome, and the 3D glasses are cool, and I'm afraid to even play the records because this thing is so awesome. So
shout out to my friend Pablo who helped put that set together. He is the biggest Jellyfish fan on the planet, and that's coming from somebody who also believes they're the biggest Jellyfish fan on the planet. He helped assemble that set, let the company that put that out use all of his collectibles to photograph for what you see in the book there, and he almost lost all of his shit. The post office over there lost it, and luckily somebody that worked at an auction house came across it and got it back for him. Insane story. We should have him on here, but shout out that he was involved in that, because I know it means a lot to him, and it's so great that one of us was part of the making of that set.
That's pretty awesome. That's great.
And last thing, Think About Your Troubles was the last thing they ever recorded.
There you go.
Cover of, I think it's a Harry Nilsson song, and it's just Roger and Andy.
And anything else, or was that all of them? That was all of them, right?
That's all of them. Those are my 3 highlights. Yeah, there's
Awesome.
of course
Cool.
other stuff coming out, but
I'm thinking about it here. Normally we talk about what we listen to, but I'm not listening to anything yet because I'm waiting to delve into this. So, but I was listening to a lot of music last night. I'll tell you that.
Yes. I just because I want to hear about this. I have to spotlight one thing I've been listening to. It came out on Record Store Day this past April. It is a cover record, or a covers record, by the great Udo Dirkschneider from Accept. This is unbelievable. You have not lived until you've heard Udo sing My Way by Frank Sinatra.
Well, I'm sure we're going to line up for that one.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm down like a clown in Pound Town.
It's exactly how you think it would be. Just so you know.
Huh? It's that bad?
There's also a cover of The Stroke, Billy Squire, Nutbush City Limits, Ike and Tina Turner. That's another. He's really turning that one on its head.
Yeah, I'm seeing Jim in the preview, and he's just like biting his hand, like, why, why?
It's pretty amazing. If you have a chance to pick up a copy, do yourself a favor, because you will not be sorry.
Why don't you do me a favor and send one for nothing? Because I really don't want to spend money on that. That would be okay. If I
it will
got
be
for
your
free
new
from
favorite
you.
thing.
Will it?
Yes.
Will it? It'll be my new mistake.
Yes.
Well, we'll get. Are we going to get to the sound effects already? Is that where we're at?
I don't know. Are we? I raise you one.
There we go. So the farts are in play. Yeah, there we go. All right. So I'm not going to go on too much about the Taylor Hawkins show right now. We should recap it in full as I fully digest probably next week. But I got to say, it was an unbelievable experience being able to sit there in the forum with such great energy. And there was a lot of sadness, but there was a lot of glory in there too, and a lot of celebration. And I watched the whole Wembley show.
Yeah, me too.
I wasn't there, but I watched the whole thing. And then I saw this. This show knocked Wembley out of the park.
No way.
Yeah, it did. 100%. It was great. It was unbelievable. Start to finish. I guess maybe because some of the more of the acts are more up my alley, but some that I just was not expecting, like Def Leppard, Motley Crue, Roger Joseph Manning Jr. Just all these other people are just popping in there randomly, like Pink singing Queen, Alanis Morissette singing You Ought to Know and knocking it out of the park with Chad Smith on drums, seeing Rush. I mean, come on.
There you go.
But Rush with Dave Grohl, Chad Smith, and Danny Carey, playing one song with each of them.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking about highlights.
They do the same 3 songs they did at Wembley?
Same 3 songs, yeah. Okay. Dave did 2112 Overture. Chad did Working Man. And Danny Carey did YYZ. And
that would make sense.
They called it YYZ, so we know it's real. And Josh Homme, Josh, and them Crooked Vultures once again played Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. He redeemed himself. He did better. Was it great?
I mean, I don't think
it couldn't have been much worse.
Yeah, right.
That was awful. But he redeemed himself. So he did better on that one. And then like Elliot Easton from the Cars was there, and Josh sang with them too.
That makes sense. That's awesome.
That was great. I mean, they did Shake It Up and they did Just What I Needed. And it was fantastic. And then like randomly in the middle of like Chevy Metal set, Mark King from Level 42 came out and played Something About You. It was just all over the place as far as musical stylings, and it was just chills from start to finish. It was a 6-hour show. It started at 7, it finished at 1 a.m. And by the time I got home, it was like 3:30, and I went to work at 8:30. I was just wiped out. So I don't know how I'm upright right now. But we'll get into more of that next week. Just know that it was pretty awesome, and I'll dive deeper into it next week.
I just want to ask.
Oh, yeah.
Since you witnessed it in person.
Yep.
Is Rufus Taylor the next drummer for the Foo Fighters?
It sure seemed like it.
I hope so.
Like it. He played with the Foos again too. Stuart Copeland played too. I forgot about that one.
Fuck yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, just everybody was there at this show. It was so great. But yeah, Rufus, he played Best of You, and when he was done, just the emotion. Like he broke down behind the kit and just started openly weeping when he was done. He played so hard and he just put his heart into it. It was like you could feel it. Yeah. You could feel it. It was great. It was a really great night, and I know that they've recorded it. It wasn't live streaming, but it'll be out there, and you'll all see it. I mean, it's totally fantastic. So, but without further ado, I kind of want to get right into our special guests, not keep them waiting any longer. Want to get into our Power Pop Roundup. We want to talk about the band itself, and they're reuniting, doing some shows in the East Coast, New York area. But before we do that, let's show you a little bit about what they do. Here's a little sample of FUZZBUBBLE. Wait, I think I got that wrong.
That's one of my favorite videos.
I may have gotten that one wrong, but that was the drummer. Well, it was a drummer in another country. But we'll play about 30 seconds of this, and then we'll introduce these guys in. We're just going to tease you with that for now.
It's awesome.
But now I am bringing you Mark DiCarlo,
hey.
Jason Camiolo, and Jim Bacci. We got all the paisan here. Everybody's name here ends in a vowel.
Hey.
We like this. Hey, we're over here now.
It's Baki.
Well, not to me.
Baki.
All right, fine, Baki. Either way, it ends with an I.
Rhymes with hockey.
Wait, I don't.
Does it now?
I don't want to belabor this, but just to go back to the beginning for 1 second, Nick, happy birthday to your mom.
Thank you.
It's also my mother's birthday.
Wow.
For real.
Oh.
So when you said that, I was like, wow, it's crazy. So happy
That's
birthday
amazing.
to both of our moms.
Happy
Absolutely.
birthday to everybody's mom whose name ends in a vowel.
Beautiful.
Hey.
Yeah. Isn't that nice? No, but
That's a
really.
lovely thing.
That's
And I'm sorry,
amazing.
and you know what? And I am sorry to hear about Coolio.
He was
Yeah.
Coolio.
I mean, it's not. It wasn't. He wasn't my thing, but rest in peace.
You never
Yes.
want to hear about anybody prematurely losing their life.
No.
So
Hearts go out to the Coolio family.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
No,
that just
I'm
sounded
not
really
saying
funny,
that.
though.
No, I don't know how else to say it. I don't know his real name.
So anyway, moving on. Thank you all for being here. Really appreciate it. Great to see you all again. And Conchetta just said this. All the Italians are here.
Hey.
So we're good with that. We're going to talk like this for the rest of the show. And then we're going
Hey,
to
it's right here, all right?
Yeah, I'm over here. You want some gabagool?
Gabagoo.
So, Jim. You started this whole thing, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I started it with Mark, really. Me and Mark started this together a long time ago. So, yeah, it was kind of my idea. It was a recording project because I was going to a recording school. And they said, you need to do a recording for your final exam or whatever. And my friend Kevin, who was the original drummer who played on the original demos, had a studio. So I said, hey, can I do my recording project at your studio? Because I was assisting there. And I said, sure, come on in. And so I wrote the 3 songs, and me and Mark went in there, and I played the guitars and bass, and Mark played the guitars and sang, and Kevin played the drums, and recorded it, mixed it, and turned it in. And that just decided to call it FUZZBUBBLE because I thought it sounded funny, So
Well, it does. And in fact, we have a quote from Mark Garney right here. It's just fun to say FUZZBUBBLE, don't you think? And I don't disagree.
Well, I don't know. What I always told people was fuzzy guitars and bubblegum pop music and stuff. That's what I always
that's
told
kind of the idea. It was really
Yeah.
because at that time, all of those indie rock band names, Super Chunk, Gas Huffer, and I'm like, I was just kind of trying to be with the times and just be silly because all those names to me are really silly, but it's like, okay, it was
Super Drag, even though that was a good record,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a lot of silly band names, in the punk magazines and stuff like that. So I was like, and yeah, like Mark said, it did correlate with the sound. So
REO Speed Dealer,
right, REO Speed Dealer, exactly.
who had to remove the REO.
Yeah,
because of a cease and desist order.
Yeah,
it just became Speed Dealer. But yeah,
Well, you wouldn't want to confuse the market.
No, of course. I mean,
you could see how that could happen.
Yeah, right.
So Mark, you and Jim started this whole thing. Jim had the idea, as he was saying, recorded, brought you in. Where did you and Jim hook up initially? How did you guys wind up getting together in the first place?
Just Long Island bands. I saw him in a band called One Groovy Coconut, and we played a show together. I was in another band called Po' Boy Swing. We played a show. We started talking at the end, after the show, and we had a lot of the same musical interests and stuff, and with Beatles and Cheap Trick and all that, pop stuff, and Jellyfish and everything, and that's how we met. It was probably 93 or 4, right? Something
I think
like
a little earlier than that because Po' Boy and Coconuts played together a lot. 93, 94 is kind of when it tail ended when you were in the Coconuts around 94. That was the last when Mark eventually joined the band.
I guess you're right. Yeah, maybe like 92. Usually I'm better with the dates and stuff. Yeah. But that's how we met.
Yeah.
And that's how I knew Jay through, bands. That's how we all met, just through everyone was in a band, and I'm like, all right, this guy's, I like this guy. I like what this guy's doing, yeah.
Now, obviously, we had talked before. We've done one of these before. If anybody is familiar with my material, and we're all, truth be told, me and the rest of the guys that are not named Nick are all from Long Island originally, and all ran sort of in the same circles, but without really I didn't know them, they didn't know me, but I worked with bands that they played with or hated Jim or something like that. Probably hated
a lot
you.
of bands.
But either way, there was a place that brought all of these bands together called the Raven. And we brought that up before, which was like basically a warehouse that some guys had rented out and built a stage and put in a PA, and you'd come and bring a cooler of beer or whatever you want to drink. You pay $10 and you watch bands play. And One Groovy Coconut played there, and Po' Boy Swing played there. And Jay, I believe at one point you were in a band that played there called the Plums. I don't know if you were in the Plums when they played there, but you were in the Plums at one point, right?
Yeah. So Brett and I, the bass player of FUZZBUBBLE, who unfortunately we lost a year ago, he passed away. But Brett and I were in a band together called the Plums. And as Jimmy mentioned in the beginning, it was a recording project that he was putting together to demo his skills as a producer and an engineer. And so he got Mark, who he knew from Long Island from One Groovy Coconut and Po' Boy Swing. So will you sing on this stuff? That ended up becoming an EP that was going to be released on Royalty Records. Guy named Kevin Kelly played drums on it. He also owned a studio that those guys worked at together with. And Jimmy went back to LA with his demo of this FUZZBUBBLE material, and he got, rave reviews. So he thought maybe he should put together a band and actually, pursue that. Kevin, I think, was having his first child at the time. He wasn't really ready to move. And so those two guys, Jimmy and Mark, were like, we need to complete this band. So we need a bass player and a drummer. And like Mark said, we knew each other from, the scene. I kind of knew Jimmy. I knew all these bands. And there was also some rumblings that Brett and I weren't super happy in the Plums. So they approached us and said, we'll take, when I say rumblings, two people knew. And they told these two people. And so,
And so on. And so on.
Exactly. Make the squares go. And so anyway, we got together, we had a conversation, we did a little bit of a rehearsal / audition. And in February of '96, Mark, myself, and Brett agreed to move to Los Angeles with Jimmy, who was already there. And we said, well, we'll start this thing and make it like a real band.
Nice. Yeah. Now, how long after that did you guys wind up getting signed?
Very shortly.
Less than a year, right?
Yeah.
The actual signing probably took a little longer, but
that's true.
Hey, we're going to sign you, and
the courtship.
Start the paperwork, right? The
now,
courtship started in less than a year.
Now, it's very important to note whose label you signed to. So, who wants to take that one?
No one's really willing to admit. I'm just kidding.
Was it Coolio?
Yeah. No, close.
Bad Boy Records.
There you go.
It was September of '96. Sean Puffy Combs, we knew of him through, he wasn't a star as of yet, but we knew of him through, he was on the cover of Vibe magazine, and he wasn't all that big of an artist or star at that point, but he, was interested. Yeah. So it was Bad Boy. Yeah.
He was famous for kind of being like a record mogul and having like a golden touch. He was behind Notorious B.I.G.
Exactly. Yeah.
B.I.G. was still alive, and
and then shortly after that, he took off. MTV just skyrocketed to fame after that. But
crazy.
You guys have the infamous title of being the only rock band that he ever actually signed. Would that be correct?
Yeah,
that is correct.
So being that was the case, and just to kind of fast forward a little bit, you guys get signed, and then he starts using you for different projects. So, give me some of the highlights. Give me, Nick, some of the highlights, and some of the people that aren't familiar with your material. What were some of the highlights of that span of time being on Bad Boy Records?
Oh,
he was there. Roger was there.
Roger was just like, wow. Okay.
Yeah. There were a number of pretty surreal experiences, but a couple of the things were.
What was the first highlight?
Yeah, I was going to say, so the first thing probably
I think it was Benjamin's, right?
Yes, being in the video for all about
and on the track. And on the track.
Working on the track, yeah. So the whole thing is, right. Bad Boy and Puffy, you know, he had this kind of like system, if you will, that they did with all the artists where they were trying to like cross pollinate people on the label. And, you know, so they did that with like Lil' Kim and Mace, The Lox, all these other hip hop artists in the stable. And then when he signed the rock band, us, he wanted to do the same thing, but it wasn't always like as obvious as a crossover for us because we weren't we were a power pop band.
Yeah.
That's why we're here today. So you know, you would have at the time, if you think about the era, you know, there were bands like Korn, Limp Bizkit, stuff like that. Even some of the like Chili Peppers, of course, been around forever. But you could have made a clearer, you know, match of like, oh, these guys could be a crossover type thing, like Linkin Park or something like that. But we were pretty much, you know, into, like you said, Cheap Trick, Red Cross, Beatles.
Probably the closest
you know?
thing you could attach us to was, you know, Foo Fighters record. It come out in '95. So,
right.
Yeah, that was, you know, the closest thing that, you know, if they had any, you know, sense, you know, well, let's get them on a tour with the Foo Fighters and
right.
And you know, but
that would have been the smart thing to do.
that would have been a smart if they had any brains and stuff. But
nothing smart happened.
It sounds like there wasn't a lot of smartness getting thrown around.
No.
Well, I mean,
from what I'm picking up on, because my first exposure to you guys, I was a young kid and had the South Park Chef Aid album that you guys are on, and
Jimmy.
And it's like, yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. I put in my notes here. It was such an odd pairing on the track that you guys are credited on because you have Ozzy, DMX, Old Dirty Bastard, and the Crystal Method.
Right.
Yeah.
With you guys.
Which right there is, it's so typical of at that time of the rap producers is to just attach this guy to the, it was just, that was just so typical.
Yes.
Just to,
Yes.
you know,
Yeah.
there's no, you know,
But in truth, I mean, it worked for, you know, like-minded artists, right? So
yeah,
it wasn't a really, you know, it wasn't really great. But All About the Benjamins was, you know, that the rock remix of that would, you know,
that
made
was
some
closer
sense.
because John Eaton, the A&R guy, did call Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl played drums on the rock remix.
He wrote a piece of the music.
Wrote
the way that record worked, where John Eaton asked everybody to write their own rock remix of the song, and then he took all everybody's that he liked, and they edited it together. So like the portion at the end of it is Dave Grohl. The main bed of the song is Tommy Stinson from the Replacements.
Right.
And then Rob Zombie came on and went, yeah, whatever he did. And
that's Mark, where Mike came in.
Right. And Mark basically sang along with Dave Grohl and Tommy Stinson, All About the Benjamins. You could hear him in there. And I played some guitar in there. And they just made it was a stew pot of different stuff.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting how that worked.
It was successful and it won the VMA Video Viewers Choice Award on MTV that year, and we technically received a Moon Man.
Oh, nice!
There it is.
Yeah,
a real Moon Man. That's awesome.
A real Moon Man. Yeah.
Look at that.
So, and then with the success of that track, we ended up playing it live a few times. So all four of us in the band, again, Brett being the original bass player and the three of us here, we played it with Slash. No, I'm sorry. We played at Hammerstein Ballroom for the NBA All-Star Bash.
Right. That was the first one. Yeah.
That was live on MTV. As live as this.
No pressure.
Right.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah.
We did that with Lil' Kim and the Lox and Puff Daddy. And then Jimmy, later on in the year, unfortunately, Jimmy was like, you were mixing something or you had to be somewhere else. And
I was
Brett,
just home.
I don't remember. But Brett, myself, and Mark, we got to play that track with Slash at Giant Stadium for the Net Aid in October of 99?
October 9th. It was my birthday, actually.
Was it?
Yep.
Wow.
That's right.
Yeah.
And John Lennon's birthday, too.
Yeah.
So those were pretty amazing things. And then, we had a single included on the soundtrack to Godzilla. which was, had a lot of great people on that soundtrack.
Oh, we also got to play. We were on the Keenan Ivory Wayans show out in California.
Oh
also.
yeah,
we
that was a lot of
TV
fun
on
actually.
Ivory.
Oh, that's awesome.
With Mike Tyson.
Tyson was on the show. All the
Mike
Bad Boy
Tyson was
artists,
on the
little
show. It was
Kevin
right
Jones.
after he bit Holyfield's ear off. So
Yeah.
we were all just like, I ain't going near that side of the stage
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah,
I love this band FUZZBUBBLE. I love this FUZZBUBBLE. They're
Fuzz,
so
what's
good.
FUZZBUBBLE?
They're so good. I love that song Bliss.
Bliss.
Yeah, he liked that. Yeah.
Zero
So,
superstar.
it was a weird match. But the important thing, especially Nick, like you said, you were kind of younger when it was all going on. So just real quick, an important distinction to make about why things, got even weirder than they might have been if this didn't happen. When we were signed, again, Puff Daddy was like a businessman, a mogul, an executive, and he was on fire. So he was like, I want to produce a rock record. I want to produce a rock band. And in between us, actually signing our deal, but just talking with him, Notorious B.I.G. was killed. And when that happens, obviously it's insane on so many levels, personally and professionally for them. And then when things even start to come back together, Puffy puts out the tribute, I'll Be Missing You, with the Every Breath You Take sample. And that just takes off like bigger than anything else, or as big. And he realizes, well, I guess like I'm the artist, the biggest artist on the label now.
Right.
And so that's kind of the beginning of the end for us, in the sense that like we were still doing things and we made a record, and a lot of stuff happened, and he would include us on stuff. But honestly, we were on a checklist of 50 things he was doing, and we were probably somewhere below 45 on that list. So, and then ultimately we asked to be let out of our deal because it was just sitting forever.
Yeah, it wasn't going anywhere.
Right.
So you guys were able to get back
everything.
Yeah. And you guys got that record back though, right? Like you were able to get the master.
Well, we own the songs. Jimmy owns the songs.
So, which is most important.
Yeah.
And that's, you could find those songs on Apple Music, right? You could find them. You could find it on Spotify. In fact, you have a few Bandcamp. You could find a few different albums that you actually have out. So, Jim, why don't you tell us like what you actually have out that's available for people to listen to currently, as far as FUZZBUBBLE goes?
So when we got out of that situation, we did try to shop for deals, and oddly enough, even though we were on a multi-platinum selling soundtrack and had an MTV award with our name attached to it, no record label would touch us. Like, we tried to get a deal, everyone was just like, and it seems so dumb. I mean, all of that stuff that we did was, what they referred to us as setup. Well, we're setting up the record. So just basically putting your name out there on different things and they were all big, really big things. Our name was on MTV while we were making the record. We turn on MTV and there's the video with our name on it, and just like, holy shit, what's happening. So afterwards he just said, well, if you guys see if you can go get another deal for the record. If not, do what you got to do. So I took to what you got to do as well. I'm going to do what I got to do. So I put the record out myself. I said, it's going to have to sell a lot of records before anybody comes in and starts questioning it. I wanted people to hear that record because I was really proud of it. And we made it with Mike Klink, and Jack Joseph Puig mixed it. And
yeah, which is amazing. The credits alone on both of those.
So I was like, there's no way in hell that record's going to sit on a shelf at Bad Boy and never get heard. I don't care what happens. So I put the record out. I just made CDs and put them out. And we still have some. And, the rest of it just went up. We put it up all digitally. And then everything else we recorded, most of what we did beside that, some of the original demos, the outtakes from the record that we didn't put on the record, because we made the record 10 songs. We said, let's just keep it, people were putting, 16 songs on records, and we were just like, let's just do 10. Let's just keep it tight, So we, a power pop label called Not Lame Records, I contacted him and I said, hey, I want to put this together, this record. I got a bunch of stuff. And so that's called Demos, Outtakes, and Rarities. So it's basically a lot of the other material, not all of it, but a lot of it. And that's about 16 songs. And, you know, we have some CD stock left of that. And then, of course, that's available digitally. And we had a label in Japan that put out the debut album with all the demo versions. So that's like a bonus, a label called Wizard and Vinyl. And they put out a 7-inch with a couple songs on it. So we did get a bunch of stuff released. We did a split 7-inch with my other band, Teen Machine, for a label in Germany called Screaming Apple. It was a garage label. And one other record we did with a band called Gigantor from Germany. We did a cover of Let Me Know by Kiss, and they did American Girl. We did a split 7-inch. And that's pretty much all the releases. There were a couple things on some like a video game soundtrack, I think. I know like the Super Suckers were on it and a bunch of other people. And then, of course, there were a couple of Bad Boy singles, but there's a lot of stuff randomly floating around. But our releases are the FUZZBUBBLE album and Demos, Outtakes, and Rarities. So that's what's available now.
So make sure that, you know, anybody's watching and is not familiar with the material or slightly familiar with the material, make sure you check all that out, because the deep dive on FUZZBUBBLE is really enjoyable. I mean, these guys, and look, I've known Jay for 20 something years at this point, and it's not, and I know the other guys as well, more in a cursory fashion. Jim hates me, but you know, there's that.
Why are you creating drama?
I'm not,
because that's what Mike does.
Drama sells. Drama's good.
There you go.
Right?
We'll instantly go to 6 more subscribers. But the fact of the matter is that I listen to FUZZBUBBLE because it's good, not because I know them. You know, I listen to it because it's enjoyable. What I want to listen to, and I'll go through my, scroll through my, Apple playlist. Like, oh crap, wow, I haven't listened to Bliss in a while. I haven't listened to Big Time Nowhere in a while. Like, all right, yeah, let's put that on. Oh, Out There, cool. I forgot about that one. And it's great, solid, super solid power pop in the same vein as every other power pop band that you could possibly imagine. It's all really good hooky choruses, but with a little bit more punch below it compared to some of those other ones. So therefore their whole fuzzy bubblegum thing. But I always just associated it with a tube, personally. There you go.
Nice.
People's elbow.
Mike, we've been talking about having you guys on for a couple of months, and I kept remembering that name before I came across the South Park soundtrack, and I said, oh yeah, that. But when you just mentioned, Jim, Not Lame, I think that's where I was seeing your name all the time, because again, huge Jellyfish fan, and they did that amazing fan club box set.
Yeah, I heard that.
Jellyfish.
Bruce, right?
Yes.
Bruce Brodeen. Yeah.
Yes, and I remember he would always send out those newsletters of all the bands and stuff he was listening to, and you guys were constantly mentioned in that. I was like probably 13, 14, I think, when that box set came out. So I was really into that stuff, and I think that's when I first was really introduced to your full catalog outside of seeing your name on the back of the South Park CD.
Not Lame put out Demos, Outtakes, and Rarities.
Yeah, they're the ones who put it out.
That was on Not Lame.
And that, that's pretty cool that you were that age listening to power pop.
Yeah,
going deep.
So you're 13 years old liking Jellyfish? That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Nick is a very special person. I got to tell you guys this. Nick knows more about music than probably the 4 of us combined and 2 other people.
Did you have really cool parents, or what?
Yeah, my dad and my uncle were the ones that were always keeping me on. My dad's a guitar player, but playing me good stuff. My dad's a huge Kiss fan, but I can remember being like 5, 6, 7 years old, driving around with my dad on a Saturday afternoon, and for like a year he just had Spilt Milk on a loop, and that was after, that was like 96, 97, so that was already after they had come and gone and everything. But the older I got, and still to this day, the older I get, the more brilliant I think that record in particular is, and the surrounding genre and everything. But it connected with me very early on. So when I was Yeah, when I grew up in the internet age, so I've told Mike this before, but like I was going on MySpace and finding the guys from Jellyfish, like finding Roger and finding Tim Smith and finding Jason Faulkner and sending them these messages going, I'm like 13 and I love this record, and them writing back and sending me autographs and pictures and all kinds of stuff. And I've always been a huge fan, not just of this genre, but especially of Jellyfish. But
it's amazing.
The power pop love comes from my dad. He turned me on to a bunch of bands that I'm sure we're going to talk about, like the Raspberries and Big Star and all those bands.
Yeah. Awesome.
By the way, speaking of love, we have some love from Dennis Smith for you guys.
Oh,
it's more of a backwards, backhanded, like smack in the face to Nick. But as he says, don't give up, guys. If Springsteen can get a deal, so can my grandma. So.
Thank you, Dennis. Good luck to your grandmother and her record deal.
Well, maybe you guys can, go on a co-headlining tour, FUZZBUBBLE and Dennis's grandma. I think that would be...
Or FUZZBUBBLE and Springsteen. I'll sign up for that for sure.
Yeah, but who opens for who? I mean, come on. We got to be real about this. We got to make this right and equitable.
Well, he is the boss, so...
Exactly.
Of what? Nick loves Bruce Springsteen. I loathe Bruce Springsteen. So needless to say, we have fights weekly about this.
Yes.
Anyway, so with all that said, now let's fast forward a little bit. You guys, obviously the band wasn't really doing a whole lot. You're shopping deals, you're selling CDs, but you're not really playing that much. You all went off and did different things, different bands. Mark, you and Jay were involved in a project called Oh L'Amour that I think you're still involved with to this day.
Yeah, still going.
So why don't you explain a little bit about that?
So while we were at the tail end of Bad Boy and us getting dropped from there, we knew it was going to happen. We were just out of our minds at the point. We were just we were like, let's do something like fun and like a cover band type thing. And I'm a huge Mike Patton fan with Mr. Bungle and everything. So I'm like, if we're gonna do a cover band, let's do something different. So we wore masks and dressed up and it made like stage names and everything, and we did like a cover band of just like these. It was this whole gimmick with 5 Mexican broken-hearted guys, and they sing these love songs, and so that's how it started. And somehow it's however 25 years later, it's still going. We have a following. It's insane. Like it's lasted all this time, but it started as a joke, just to kind of like, we were just, because we couldn't give a shit at the point. We were just, having fun with things and stuff.
I've had it.
We started out with like playing stuff like "Missing You" by John Waite.
It was all love songs, right? That
just
was the criteria.
All just really slow, pathetic love songs, just to like piss off the crowd and wear masks, and like, so people were just like, "What the fuck," So it was a joke, but the joke continues, and it's still successful to this day.
The joke's on them.
Yep, and the joke's on them. Yes, exactly. And Jay
so
was,
basically, you started.
Jay was an original. Max Picante. That was his character, original member. Yeah.
Jay, I remember this. What was your Aquarian Drumheads? What was your tagline for Aquarian Drumheads?
Oh, drums are useless without heads. Yeah.
Exactly.
Really, all the drum companies, flaunting all their shit. You take the heads away, they sound like nothing.
So that was
like, you could
Max
say,
Picante's
listen, you could say what you want about Taylor guitars, but if you take off the strings, I don't know what you guys are going on and on about.
It makes for a very nice platter. You can serve charcuterie if you wish on the top. It's quite lovely.
The All L'Amour thing, well, like what he said, it's like we were going through so much of like, performing for people and doing showcases and everything's like, we're playing power pop music and it's serious and it's stressful.
Yeah.
We're like,
and at that point, we were out of our minds. We were just like, I don't fucking give a shit. Let's just do something fucking stupid and fun.
And I could be wrong about this. Like, definitely, like you said about, your love of Patton and Bungle. But I remember you saying to me something to the effect of, the next band I'm in, I don't want to feel uncomfortable. I want the audience to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah,
That's how it started.
No,
Yeah,
exactly. I want to make them feel uncomfortable, and I'm like, I just didn't want to look like a guy on stage,
Right.
like dressed in just normal shit. I'm like, it's got to be fucking different, you know. So
the original, if you remember, the original thing was we took love songs, like say something like "With or Without You" by U2.
Yep.
But we played it at like 40 beats per minute. So, which makes it like an 11-minute song. And so we did that for about 3 gigs, and we were like, okay, we can't even take this.
We played songs slower. It was just one sappy love ballad after another.
Do you even rehearse when you're doing something like that?
Like, this is the thing. And you could still go see them, and they're an amazing band. I mean, they're great musicians. Mark won't say this, but he's an amazing vocalist, and he's a chameleon. Mark can sound like whoever he wants. Seriously. Whoever he wants.
That is very true.
So, but that was the thing, right? Like, we would execute it, like, for real. After we got out of the 40 beats per minute thing, we were like, okay, this is awful. Then we just like, okay, the criteria has to be love songs.
Yeah.
And then, but we'd nail them. And then, I mean, we really got into it. I was like doing backing tracks and stuff for keyboard parts. Like if it had string arrangements, I'm like, well, we got to have it. So I'd make backing tracks and play to a click. But these guys still do it. And it's amazing.
Yeah. So that, so Mark, you're doing that. I know you're doing some other bands too. Jay, you moved to Arizona initially.
I'm in LA now.
Now you're in LA.
Yeah.
But that put your career on a completely different path as well. And actually some of what you were doing in OL More, I guess, kind of played a part in it, like making the backing tracks, kind of put you into production in some way. And then you started doing jingles and things like that for commercials, and then doing scoring for TV shows.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did a lot of work for the History Channel back when they were doing that kind of stuff. It kind of changed their programming. But yeah, I did the documentaries and anything like you said, scoring to picture. I did it for 16 years, actually.
Wow.
So it's not a hobby.
No, it was a gig. It was a real gig, Yeah. But
before they overloaded it with Pawn Stars.
Well, you're exactly right, actually. Yeah. There was a show on the Discovery Channel. I forget what year it came out, but it's called, I think it's still on, like Deadliest Catch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that got so, it was just went out of control that I think A&E looked at Discovery and was like, forget all this like period specific stuff. And I think they had run, 180,000 hours of World War II stuff.
Yeah.
And they were like, and so that's why they came up with these. I don't know what it has to do with history, but they came up with things like Ice Road Truckers and Axemen and all these shows just to try to recreate another kind of Deadliest Catch.
The History Channel is now history.
Yeah.
For real.
I used to love all that World War II stuff. I mean, I still do, but you can't find it as much.
Oh, that's good because it's coming around again.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, right.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, right.
Stay tuned. Yeah.
Now I'll live it. I won't be watching.
Oh, okay. My bad. Sorry.
And you know what's funny? I mean, was talking about Power Pop today. While they were doing OL More in New York, I had formed a band with a bunch of my friends in Hollywood called Teen Machine, and that was a total power pop. We did a record, and people that are into power pop, a lot of people are just like, that Teen Machine record, they love that Teen Machine record. It was just a basic 4-piece band with 3 girls, so we were kind of like, and we was very 70s, so we were sort of like if you took the Ziggy Stardust era, David Bowie, Sweet, and like the Brady Bunch. It was like that. It was like 3 like really hot girls we had singing. 2 of them sang lead. One of them was on that show Felicity. She was an actress. So we played around Hollywood, and Linus of Hollywood actually, and my friend Bruce Whitkin, they started a record label, and we recorded a record for them. And I was in the studio making that record the day those guys went into Bad Boy and said, freaking let us out. So I was like, excuse me, I'll be back in 5.
I just got to get out of one deal. Yeah.
I took the phone outside and I listened to the whole conversation. I'm like, well, I guess that's that. I went back inside, finished my record. And that is for Power Pop Underground, a lot of people tell you that's a legendary record. They love that record. It's
There
called
is a
After
split.
School
There is
Special.
a split single with Teen Machine and FUZZBUBBLE.
Yeah,
too,
and we
right?
did a split single, but we did a full entire record, and
Yeah, you
it's
got
really hard to get, and I still have some, but
$500 on vinyl.
Sure.
I have about 10 vinyl copies here. The label that put out the single, they put out a single and the vinyl of that.
VG plus.
Yeah. VG Plus.
Near mint.
Yeah. Near mint, right. Exactly.
Hey, this is a vinyl centric podcast. Nick and I talk
Yeah,
about vinyl
so
all the time on here. So.
I just bought a really cool Thin Lizzy jailbreak. This VPM put out.
Yeah, yeah.
Vinyl.
I've been
VMP.
praising it for the last 3 episodes.
Oh, did you get it?
Yes, yes, it's amazing.
Okay, because I was like, they finally made silver foil, which the whole time I was a kid, I thought it was like, I know there's a silver foil version of that, but it never was. And they finally made it in Mylar, silver Mylar with the insert, and like I was like, oh, it's like $40, but I have to buy it.
And it's
'cause
all
like,
analog. It's one of the best sounding reissues I've ever heard.
So excited! It's orange vinyl, right?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited for it because that's my favorite Lizzie record. I love that record. Yeah. So yeah, vinyl. Anyway, sorry to deflect there, but anyway, so yeah, I was doing while they were doing all the more. I was doing Teen Machine, and then I think through Teen Machine I met Bruce Brodeen just via email or whatever, and that's how I just kept putting out as much FUZZBUBBLE as I could because I wanted all of that material to get out, So anyway, yeah, there you go. That's what was going on in 2000, 2002.
Now, Jim, you have a very interesting musical history even beyond that. So, in the 80s, you had a heavy metal band called Hitman, which is also reunited recently.
Yes.
And played some shows.
Mm-hmm.
But then on the other end of the spectrum, you also have a tiki band.
Yeah.
The Tiki-Yaki Orchestra.
You're all over.
Orchestra. And it's funny in that genre of music and like the tiki world, like we're probably one of the most famous. There's not very many of them that do exotica music, but we're probably one of the biggest ones.
Well,
it's just something I got interested in,
They mentioned Elliot Easton before.
Elliot Easton had a band called Elliot Easton and the Tiki Gods.
Yeah, but didn't you guys play it as? Did you play his wedding?
Oh, we did. We played at his wedding. He hired us to play his wedding.
Pretty
wow.
Cool.
Yeah, so that was pretty, and he came up and played with us. So it's funny because he staged us, while we weren't playing. He gave us a room to stay in, and it was filled with guitars. And he's like, "Oh, I got more." I went out to the garage, and it was just racks of guitars. He goes, "I'd let you play one, but they're all lefty."
That's true.
But he came up and played Goldfinger with us, and Harlem
Massapequa
Nocturne
specifically.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we talked about all that. He's like, "Oh, guy, I'm from Massapequa." I'm from Huntington. He says, "I go, I'm Italian." He goes, "I'm Jewish." Same thing, different soup. That was what he said.
Well, that's why the AKA name for Massapequa is Matza Pizza.
Matza Pizza, yeah.
Because you're either one or the other.
Jimmy, you know what's messed up? We actually all of them were open for Elliot Easton's. They put he was in a band called Broken Hearts or something like that, with Wally from
the Romantics.
The Romantics and stuff. Yeah,
okay.
A bunch of years ago, we actually opened for them at the Paramount. It was pretty cool.
Oh wow!
And the album, yeah. It was. I remember
he's a great guitar player.
He's
man.
a great guitar.
Oh, he's so good.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah,
He's
but
a
we
great
actually
guitar
it
player.
was a cool thing and stuff. Yeah, I remember my dad was up for that. It was a great show. I forget who else was in the band. Who else was in the band? Help me. It was Wally from the Romantics.
I don't know. Was Clem in it?
Clem Burke was on drums.
Clem. That's who I was trying to think of.
Yep. Yeah, and then somebody
We
else.
saw
but it
Clem
was
the other
great.
night, actually.
Yeah.
At that Anvil screening. I saw Clem.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he's
I used
all
to
over.
see him around a lot. He was super cool. I think he walked by me and kind of looked at me, and I was like, "Clem, what's up?" I know he didn't remember who I was, but I've hung out with him a bunch of times in clubs.
To tie it into power pop, he's one of my favorite power pop drummers.
Yeah,
he's amazing. I did a small Canadian tour with rockabilly singer Robert Gordon, and after Robert finished with the band that I was playing drums for, he went back to do the East Coast, and Clem was the drummer. So I thought that was pretty cool. I was in the same. It was Anton Fig the week before, and then me, and then Clem Burke. So I thought that was pretty. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, well, I mean, I guess I'm still here selling guitar strings, but at least I was in between two legends.
But remember, the guitar without guitar strings,
yeah, it's nothing.
Useless.
Yeah,
Nothing.
True.
And the drum with no heads.
So
Not
it's an important job.
So let's fast forward even further now, because we're already about an hour in here, and we want to get to the roundup. So, but at the same time, I want to play some of your material so that people can check you guys out. Let's talk about Cult Stars from Mars. We fast forward now into, you know, we're approaching a pandemic, and people have nothing to do except for try to be creative or drink excessively, and you guys decided to be creative. So, which was the better path, I believe, personally.
Yeah.
And so
Maybe.
maybe depends on what you had at the bar. But let's discuss that for a minute, and then I want to play Dragonfly Part 2 in its entirety, the video, which we do have here, and then we'll get into the Power Pop Roundup. But Mark, starting with you, like, you know, how did that whole thing come together again? You know, was it any one person that said, "Hey, let's just do this again," or was it like, let's toy around with this?
All right, so even before that, through the years, me and Jimmy had always been like kind of doing little one-off songs. We did commercial bits and stuff, like Jimmy would come out with me. So we were always in contact, just doing music.
Wait, didn't you have a Super Bowl commercial?
We did a Wendy's commercial.
Or was it a national commercial?
Yeah, we were doing remote
thing.
recording way before it was cool. We were doing remote a long time ago. But yeah, I got a Wendy's spot that turned into like 5 different spots, and me and Mark did really well on that.
It was
financially.
Crazy.
It was.
I love that the further we get into this, the larger the accolades are getting.
The Wendy's was by far the biggest paycheck of my career.
With that one.
FUZZBUBBLE
will be running for president in the next election.
Yes.
So anyhow, me and Jimmy had been always in touch, just writing, and I was always pushing. I'm like, guys, man, because every time like a FUZZBUBBLE would come up on iTunes, it was just like, oh fuck. And it's just like, this stuff was so good, and it's just like, I'm like, we got to do more. We got to write, and I guess fast, comes up to the pandemic. Licorice Quartet, Jellyfish starts doing Licorice Quartet, and we were like, all right, we got to fucking,
that was the inspiration for sure. We all said,
it was Licorice
Lighthouse
Quartet.
Spaceship came out. We all said, holy crap, did you hear that?
And let me just say real quick, within that, they made it clear that those guys were doing that project remotely.
Exactly.
And so it was like, okay, we have no excuse.
Yeah.
The technology really did,
because
so go ahead.
Yeah, me and Jimmy we were sending files and doing shit like that even before that. So like, we got to fucking do this. And then I think Mike Portnoy put up on Instagram like a bunch of his favorite power pop records. And then like FUZZBUBBLE's in there with fucking Jellyfish and all this other stuff. We were just
Grays,
we were like, Grays. We're like, oh my God, So that's what started everything. It was Port and posting that, and the Licorice Jellyfish guys doing the thing. We're like, we gotta fucking do this. So and little by little, Jimmy just started.
I said, let me see if I can write something. And like a day later, I came back with
Dragonfly Part 2.
It happened very fast.
And like you said, it's not like we ever disappeared from each other's lives either. Like, we were still friends. We'd still talk. Sometimes we'd see each other. I would visit Jimmy in California, whatever. Right. So yeah, we were always talking, and we were always, all of us were like, man, wouldn't it be great to just return back to what we were doing? So yeah, there was never any bad blood between us.
Yeah, matter of fact, I think out of all the bands I've been in, we get along the best out of all of them. We never had any yelling matches with each other, ever. It was always with our stupid manager, our stupid A&R guy, and various other stupid people. But like amongst
they're all dumb.
Of us,
right?
Yeah. Well, seriously, I mean, I've had crazy shouting matches with my manager and the A&R guy, because they were both crazy. And the 4 of us, we amazingly just remained united through all of it, and we never had I never recall us having even like a heated argument. We just discuss it and figure it out.
There's normal stupid stuff. If when you're
it was all
van with
exterior
somebody,
stuff. It was all
exactly.
label and management and other people. We were also on the same page. We were just like, fucking, you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Right. It was like we would disagree about little things or get mad at
right. That's what I said. Like normal, normal
stuff.
Difference of opinion.
Like
or,
when it came to the band, we were solid. We were just like all for one, and it was great.
It's kind of hard to play power pop like happy, hooky courses and happy songs, but like. Fuck you!
You got Jellyfish did it.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jellyfish.
I didn't say that I didn't say it was impossible.
Even that you got to dive into. You got to dive into some of the FUZZBUBBLE lyrics because it's not all as sugary sweet as you think.
Oh no, I took a lot of my frustrations out of what we were going through.
Yeah,
came out in the lyrics in a lot of the songs.
Yeah,
Rockstar Parkin' all over that song.
Big Time Nowhere. Zero Superstar.
Yeah.
They were all written before we had the deal, but Rockstar Parking was definitely written out of fucking how much is this shit gonna take. I was so pissed off. And I took it out on the songs,
We call this section of the show anger.
Yeah.
Well, here's what we're going to do
our
now.
metal roots.
We're fast forwarding now into 2020. We have Called Stars from Mars, which is basically FUZZBUBBLE plus Mike Portnoy.
Yep.
Which will
who's that?
Really quickly, who's that? Drummer of some note. And
he's played in a couple bands.
Couple of bands. And he's actually in this
couple
video
of bands
as well.
this week.
There you go. Yeah, probably. And what we're going to do is we're going to play the video now, and then we'll talk a little bit about it, and then we're going to get into the Power Pop Roundup. That sound good to you guys?
Are you playing the whole video?
I'm playing the whole video so everybody can hear it. So you got 3 minutes and 35 seconds to take a dump.
I got
beautiful.
Here we go.
And I will tonight's episode, Dragonfly, Part 2.
I forgot
so
about
good.
the ending.
That is so good. And actually,
Brilliant.
we got people in the feed, saying they can't spell, but they know good music when they hear it.
Did you say no good music?
But yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, yeah.
That was
that song is great.
that was definitely Mike Portnoy playing drums on that, based on the ending of it.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
I like
That
how
is
no matter what he's doing, it's like he figures out a way to get stuff like that in there, where it just turned into a Rush breakdown at the end there, from the drumming standpoint.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, he's amazing. He's a great
That's
player.
awesome stuff.
That's
So-
his signature, man. He's got to put it in there,
Yeah,
Yes.
there you go. I have to hit all the drums as fast as possible. There you go. And you also have to hit what's his other thing? You also have to do a snap on the bass drums before hitting the cymbal and the snare at the same time. God, that's like always like that's like his thing.
Rough.
Yeah, exactly. So now you do that song. We're now in 2022. FUZZBUBBLE decides to get back together and do some shows.
Yeah, well, there's an unfortunate event in between that.
Truth.
So, like Jimmy said, he writes Dragonfly Part 2. We get together, the whole thing, and I'll make this brief, but the idea to call the project the pandemic project, Cult Stars from Mars, was because originally we didn't think Brett was going to be a part of this. We would reach out to him now and again, and he was not reluctant, but he was like, yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll do some stuff. We were like, all right, cool, man, whatever. Like, no, it's all good. And so when it looked like me and Jimmy and Mark were really going to be like, let's put a bunch of stuff together, I said, I feel weird like calling it FUZZBUBBLE without the four of us. So the idea to maybe name it Cult Stars from Mars was like a nod. Like if you knew the band, you knew we had a song called Cult Stars from Mars. So maybe that would be enough to just, kind of keep things together for people to put two and two together. When Brett said, I do want to, I will play on something, we were like, oh, well, that's a no-brainer. Like, yeah, then play on this stuff. Yeah. And by that time, we already kind of renamed the project. And, again, this was just like something to do during the lockdowns and stuff anyway. So it really didn't matter. And we were like, yeah, that's great. But after we did that song, we did a couple of other songs, some that Mark wrote and some that Jimmy wrote, and had the idea to reach out for other guests. I think I had said something like, it'd be cool to do like a Daryl's House kind of thing, so to speak, like just, reach out to people, anyone who wants to play on them. And, we could play whatever styles we want and have whoever we want. And Brett did play on another track with us as well. But then about a year ago, he committed suicide. And so that was a heavy blow to us and everybody, that knew him, his family, his wife. It just, awful. And no one saw it coming. It really didn't make any sense. So that was a heavy hit. And within that, and all the things that come with reflecting on something like that, Mark, myself, and Jimmy were like, okay, like, life is passing before us, and any opportunities that we have to make music together, play together, record together, whatever you want to do, who cares? We should just do it, because we're always talking about how much we like doing what we do together. And the only thing worse than what happened would to be what happened and no one to learn a lesson from it. So that's really kind of what happened. And we were like, well, life is short. Who knows what's going to happen? Again, it made no sense. We really miss him. Everybody misses him. And so we're kind of like, yeah, this is kind of a tribute to him. And, and us just, like I said, reflecting on it and being like, holy shit, like, the time is flying. So like, if you find something you love and know people you love to do it with, whatever that may be, you should probably be doing it as much as possible. So that's what brings us to the reunion. There was no like, it's not like a midlife crisis or like we're going to be rock stars again, or maybe we could get a deal. It's like, forget all that.
Everybody's
like,
buying a Porsche and we're old.
Right. It's like, look,
That's what guitars are for, man.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Guitars
that's
are our
totally
Porsches.
different with guitars. Yeah.
By the way,
and drums.
Porsche goes public tomorrow.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yep. Interesting.
But
Different
so
sound.
anyway, yeah, so really, I mean, of course, we want people to come to the shows. We want people to buy the music. We want, we want all that. But it's really, all of this is very, it's for us.
Right. It means a little different now, obviously, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So now that you are
it's-
doing it and you are playing some shows, let's talk about those for a minute here. You guys got a gig back on the island.
The island.
On
in
the island.
in the
as-
town I grew up in, my
in the-
hometown.
in the parlance of our, towns, So in Huntington, you guys are opening up for the Mighty Zebra and Last in Line, which
Vinny,
I'm still baffled why Zebra isn't second on that bill and Last in Line isn't, the headline.
Well,
But
in Long Island,
Long
Zebra
Island,
is
yeah.
king.
on Long Island.
We played with Last in Line here last year, and
You did?
they're phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew Freeman, the guy that sings all that Dio stuff, is phenomenal.
amazing. He's
He's
amazing.
Can't wait to see
phenomenal.
him. Yeah.
And Vinny Appice is one of my favorite drummers.
One of my heroes.
I watch his Facebook posts like every week when he does his Facebook Live. He
Sawtooth.
plays his sawtooth drums and he talks about stuff. He's amazing.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
And so these shows, one of them, that show is sold out, if I remember
Yes,
correctly, right?
it's
So
sold
you
out.
can't get tickets. And if I remember everybody's Facebook post correctly, don't ask these guys for tickets. They have no tickets. They can't get you tickets. They don't know what tickets look like.
I posted that, yeah, but it's true because I feel bad. We know so many people, and especially Jimmy and I. Now
Yeah,
we're in
yeah,
LA. I've been out of New York, 18 years, and so of course there's a million people I want to see. And when I first said, "Hey, we're playing again," everyone's like, "Yeah, I'm going." And then no one buys tickets, or not everyone buys tickets. So
They wait.
yeah.
But
They
you
wait.
guys are playing show the day before, if I'm remembering,
Pleasantville.
in Pleasantville, New York, and that's a low ticket warning on this one. So where is that show at exactly? What's the name of the venue?
The name of the venue is Lucy's, the garage at Lucy's in Pleasantville. We're playing with a friend, Danny Cavazzi, another good Italian boy. Hey, Cavazzi. He's got a band called Superhero, and he plays a lot up there, so he's really dialed into that.
You would think like we're like
area?
funded by the mob.
Who says we
Says we're
aren't?
not.
We're
Well,
funded by Sabaro.
There's no such thing as the mob. here.
Barrow?
we should be just sponsored by Sabaro.
God forbid. Sabaros. God
God
forbid.
forbid. No, I'm not. As long as it's not the Olive Garden, I'm fine.
Oh
I
God.
like Sabaro, actually.
Sabaro is the Olive Garden of pizza.
It really is.
Pretty
Thank
much.
you.
It's still better than
Sabaro is
Olive
good in
Garden,
the
though.
pinch.
Thank you.
They're
What are you,
good in
Michael
the pinch.
Scott?
No, but so we're playing with Danny Cavazzi's band, Superhero. It was a band he had in the '90s, and they've reunited. And he plays in a lot of really cool bands up there. So I said, "Hey, man, that place you play looks pretty cool. Like, you want to do can you get us a gig there with you guys?" And he's like, "Sure," because he's a big FUZZBUBBLE fan. So he said, "I'd be honored," and whatever. And I was like, "Hey, man, let's do it." So it's Lucy. It's November 18th, Friday night. It's Pleasantville, which is kind of the lower Hudson Valley, sort of, I would say, northeast of Yonkers a little bit. It's Lucy, the garage at Lucy's. So, yeah, that's the warm-up show, as it were. We'll get to play some more songs and stuff, too. So.
And then also, we just found this out, actually. But, Mark, you have a gig. You're going to do something before that ties into Power Pop, right?
Yes, so I'll mention this. Donnie V from Enough's Enough. We were lucky to meet those guys, and we played. We did a short little tour with them in '98 or '99, and our buddy Dave R, who booked us, booked the FUZZBUBBLE shows. He's looking out for Donnie, and he actually hooked Donnie up with a show in Patchogue. It's coming up October 15th, I believe it's a Saturday, opening for Warrant in Patchogue. So he hooked me up with Donnie, and I spoke with Donnie, and I'm going to be backing him up for that show with him.
Awesome.
Nice.
Which should be
Cool.
That's a
exciting.
fantastic,
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
fantastic
awesome.
pairing
Congratulations.
of vocals right there. You know,
Yeah, really. Like
you know-
it's sort of like I don't want to ever, vocalize anything after hearing like Mark and Donnie together. Like I don't sing. I make guttural voice noises with my throat. Those guys
as do
sing.
I.
Good match. So
Can I
15
mention something real quick?
No.
Because you guys were talking about OLL Moore, and we didn't mention Bobby at all. So
Oh God,
So-
yeah.
Bobby Frampton, the bass player from OLL Moore, I don't know what his OLL Moore name is.
It's Bongo El Mongo.
Bongo El Mongo, also
Yep,
known as
that's-
Bobby Frampton. I like the fact that we get to play in a band with a guy named
We're
Frampton.
playing with a Frampton, a non-Guinea.
Frampton.
Yeah.
I
so
like that we're
breaking
playing
it
in a
up
band
there.
with a guy
Yeah.
named Bongo. But whatever.
But
Bongo
he's
ends in
playing
an O.
bass with us at these shows. And hopefully all will go well, and we'll just kind of hopefully proceed forward with him playing bass.
He's excited. Bobby's obviously I've been in a little more with him forever. He's a one-hit wonder guy. He's a power pop guy. He goes as deep as Badfinger, so he gets it, and he's excited to do this with us. And I'm practicing. It's going to be great. Yeah.
So
Thank you,
you
Bobby.
got the
Yeah, shout
thank
out.
you, Bobby. You got the 15th in Patchogue with Mark with
October
Donnie
15th.
V.
October 15th.
October
October
15th. Yeah,
15th.
Donnie V. That's at the Patchogue Theater in Patchogue Theater.
We got
Opening for Warren.
November 18th is the Pleasantville FUZZBUBBLE gig with Bobby Frampton, Bongo. And the 19th is the Paramount. And then Jimmy, tell them what's going on November 20th.
November 20th, we are releasing all of the Cult Stars from Mars recordings in a full 10-song album, a CD. We went back and forth on like Cult Stars from Mars, but now we're playing as FUZZBUBBLE again. So we're calling the album is actually FUZZBUBBLE, and the name of the album is Cult Stars from Mars.
Really gonna
So
fuck everybody.
because like,
But
okay, we
it
got to
makes
get our
perfect
branding
sense, though.
straight, you know.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, because
It all
Cold Stars
works.
from Mars is technically like a cast of people, but
Yeah.
it's really FUZZBUBBLE. Musically, it's very FUZZBUBBLE. And we just decided this week. I said, Jay, me and Jay practiced on Saturday. I said, why don't we just call the album Cult Stars from Mars and call the band name FUZZBUBBLE? I don't want to confuse people any more than
Right.
they've already
Yeah,
been
we can't.
confused.
We can't. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
But moving forward, I'm going to be called Jim. He's going to be called Jason. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna be
That's
Jay.
This is
enough
not-
with the
Mark-
name change.
This is
It's
not
gonna
without
be,
precedent,
Bobby.
though.
Yeah.
This is not without precedent because I don't know if you guys remember this from the early '90s. Warrant put out an album called Dog Eat Dog, and then the band Dog Eat Dog put out an album called Warrant. So
Mark will be opening up for Warrant
it all
in
ties in
Patchogue
It all ties
on
in.
October 18th.
Kevin
Nice.
Bacon.
I want to give a quick shout
Yeah.
out to a couple days after Mark's playing that show. I'll be in town for 3 shows with Hitman, my other band. October 21st at the Stereo Garden with
Stereo
all
Garden,
3
yeah.
shows
Oh,
are with
nice.
Accept. So Accept Hitman with
Speaking
Accept.
of Udo
It's-
Dirkschneider,
Yeah,
Yes.
Stereo Garden. And then the 20th at the Hudson Paramount, also with Accept. And then Sunday night, I believe is the 21st, with Accept again at the Debonair Music Hall in Teaneck, New Jersey. So I got three Hitman Accept shows coming up
Nice.
right after Mark is
Killer.
doing that. So keep him busy, so.
Well, everybody's got a lot going on, which is awesome because, hey, look, we're all in this because we love music, right? And
Got
if
to.
you're not able to do your art,
Gotta
then
do it.
why are you doing it, right? So this is great. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you all again for coming on. Really appreciate it. Any closing remarks before we get to our roundup?
Let's get
thanks
to
for
it.
having us.
Well,
Thank
you're
you for
very
having us,
welcome.
yeah.
So let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to start the Power Pop Roundup, with FUZZBUBBLE contributing several bands and songs to this list. Now, here's how this works, guys. We're going to go round robin. I'm going to start with Nick because, in my mind, he's the Power Pop king. Not that you guys
Not
are
more
not
than these guys.
but you are learned, and they do it. There's a difference. So, so we're going to start off with Nick, and we're going to go around the room here, going to go Nick, and then looking on my screen, Mark, Jay, Jim, and then me. And we'll probably go around a couple of times. Each of us picks a band and a couple of songs from that band that you think would best represent that band to make up a big Spotify playlist for our viewers and listeners to listen to at any given time. We like to call it it's always the ultimate something. So this is going to be the ultimate power pop playlist. So Nick, we're going to start off with you, sir. And what band did you want to focus on?
So I wanted to start with a band that's probably, of all the bands I have on my list, come into my life the most recent. But their history is deep rooted through all of the bands that we love, especially Jellyfish. And when I first got into this band, I said, "Oh, that's where Jellyfish got that and that and that." And the band is XTC. I love
Great
I love Mayor of Simpleton, of course, is just a monster of a song. The entire Skylarking album. But there's great tracks on all of their records, so it's I think you can pretty much pick anything from like the third record to the last one, and I think it would illustrate anything power pop very, very clearly. The first couple of records, they're more like a punk band, which is still great too. But since we're talking power pop, I'd say Mayor of Simpleton, Season Cycle from Skylarking, and maybe like Peter Pumpkinhead from Nonsuch.
Now, for those of you that are not familiar with XTC's material, you probably do know at least one song by them, and it was a hit in the '80s called "Dear God."
Yep.
Which is basically like the atheist national anthem when you think about it and you listen to the lyrics.
I think XTC opened up and they toured with the Police in like 81, 82. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they had a
man.
great side project record called the Dukes of Stratosphere.
Amazing.
And the Vanishing Girl is one of the greatest power pop songs ever written.
It's fantastic.
Which one? Say again.
Vanishing Girl.
Girl.
They're called the Dukes of Stratosphere. They did a fake record, a fake 60s sounding
I
record.
have to check it out.
It was
produced
their
like
Cold
a
Stars
60s
from
record.
Mars.
Basically, yeah.
They did an
It's
EP
incredible.
and a full length as Dukes of Stratosphere. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And
Very
that
cool.
song Vanishing Girl is like, we should probably
So
try
good.
doing it one day. It's
I
a
gotta
really
check
cool
it.
song.
Cool.
We'll
Yeah,
put that on
right
the list too, because why not?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Why not?
Yep.
Why not?
Mark, you're up.
Yep. All right. I put these guys at the top of my power pop. The Producers from Atlanta.
So good.
Early 80s. Tom Werman, who did Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil, produced these guys. Fucking just, they have the first two records, You Make the Heat, and I think with the Producers, whatever, just insane. Just so fucking good. And the songs I'm going to throw out are She Sheila, gives me goosebumps every time I fucking listen to that. You could look up the video. The video is ridiculous. So good. I think these guys toured with the Police also, but She Sheila is just amazing.
Operation.
Another song, Operation, exactly, which me and Jay would tinker around at soundcheck and stuff. Operation, which is very Cheap Trickish, but so
very
fucking
cheap.
good. And another song called Merry Go Round, I think, which is a great song. But any song off the first two producers records are just goosebumps, just awesome. Just fucking great writing. Band from Atlanta, awesome.
Yep. And I will
Tim
add,
Smith.
Tim Smith from Jellyfish was in
Tim
in the
Smith,
Producers.
exactly.
a
Yeah,
later version of it. And I will
Yeah.
add, anybody that knows the music that we do, whether it's Cult Stars or FUZZBUBBLE, either one of them. When you hear Mark's songs, you could really hear the influence of that.
Oh,
band
yeah.
on his,
Oh, yeah. So-
on his writing. It's
so I
very
totally-
apparent.
Yeah, so I totally stole Wonder Woman. I took
Yeah.
the She Sheila vibe of the Producers, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna. So if you listen to Wonder Woman, you could kind of hear She Sheila in there. So that's a blatant cop. So,
And I think Can't Wait to See You is
Can't wait to
producers
see you.
ish.
I think the way Mark writes inherently
Yeah.
is like that early 80s power pop as opposed to like I write more 60s and 70s. Like
Yeah.
his stuff always sounds like it comes right from that late 70s, early 80s period when power pop, new wave kind of happened.
Yeah.
And, you know, Cheap Trick and that kind of thing too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Man, the late 70s, early 80s, what an insane time for just like creativity with music on all levels. Heavy metal and rock but power pop and just
It was
just such a
great
good time for music.
So
yeah.
much good music.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Next, go ahead. Go.
Jason, you are up.
Well, it's a very obvious pick, but and you guys named it. Top of my list is Cheap Trick.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
I love Bunny Carlos. I mean, I love the whole band, but speaking from a drummer's point of view, I love Bunny Carlos. Robin Zander. Come on, guys, amazing.
Come on.
Got the tunes.
Come on. Now.
Everybody, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Come on.
To put on a playlist, I think what did you say in your instructions? Like if this is for someone who may not be familiar with power pop. So I picked very obvious choices, but I Want You to Want Me and Surrender.
There you go. I mean,
Surrender
look,
has
you
to
can't
be
go
on
wrong with
there.
either
I
of
mean,
them. Yeah.
It's just, yeah. But there's the entire catalog.
Yeah, I love Heaven Tonight. This is my favorite Cheap Trick song.
Yeah, it's great. I mean,
I'm a big fan of Let Go. I just really dig.
It's great too.
Dig that.
I feel like
all
we were
good.
going to do.
There's
Way
not
of
a
the
bad
World.
one.
No, exactly.
There really
right.
isn't.
I
Not
gotta
a
tell
bad
you,
one.
I think their new record is one of the best I've heard in a long time by them. It's an incredible album.
Yeah.
Really great record.
Nice.
And that's with Dax on drums, right?
Yeah, man.
He's played
so
on the
good.
last few.
Yeah,
Their last
right,
few
yeah.
records have been great.
Good job.
And he's
no
doing a
Bun.
bang-up
He
job.
changes the
Yes.
feel
Yeah.
of the band. He does a great job.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the feel that Bun has, but they still sound great with him. So
Yeah.
Sound great.
Well, that is
Oh, yeah.
something to be said. I mean, you could take, and last night, at the concert, it was obvious, and Neil Peart talked about this at length, when he changed styles, there was a different clock at work.
Yep.
Every drummer that you put, they could play the same beat, but there's different clock at work.
Oh,
And
of course.
it just feels different. Like, Dax can play I Want You to Want Me. It'll just feel a little bit different than if
Right.
Bunny
This is
Carlos
why I'll
played it.
never entertain any nonsense about Ringo not being a great drummer.
Thank you.
Well-
See that,
Well-
Mike? Do you see that? Thank you very much, Jason. We got in an argument about this a couple weeks ago, and that guy up in the top left corner in my screen was saying he was tired of all the Ringo worship. Ringo is fucking awesome.
I said Ringo got worse as the years went on.
No,
That's
he
what I
didn't.
said. Yes, he
No,
did.
he didn't.
Who do you want to go to next, Jimmy?
Yes.
Okay.
Jim is next.
so-
Why? You don't
I-
want to
I don't
continue
know
this
if
part
I
of the
understood
conversation?
I don't know if I understood the assignment. We all were supposed to pick a couple of bands, right?
Yeah, pick a couple. But we're going to go around.
we're going
a
in
couple
around.
times.
We
Okay.
can keep going around. Yeah, yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go
In a Ringo.
super Captain Obvious.
Fuck you.
In a Ringo, yeah. I'm warning you with peace and love.
And love.
Don't send anything. Nothing will be
It will be
signed.
tossed.
It will be tossed.
was
I'm warning you with peace and love. Everything will be tossed.
Hey, Ringo.
Nothing.
I love you.
Nothing.
I love Ringo.
My band does that bit all the time. So I mean, I'm surprised neither of you mentioned, but I'm just going to go. I'm going to go for the big guy, Jellyfish.
Oh yeah, of course, on my list.
It's hard to pick even three because every song on those two records is amazing,
Yeah.
bar nothing. The first song I ever heard from them was King is Half Undressed, so I'm going there. Glutton of Sympathy, one of the most amazing ballads ever, and Calling Sarah. And whenever I hear Calling Sarah, I just get goosebumps hearing that song. But like, you could put any Jellyfish song on any time, and it's the best song you've ever heard. So,
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
I mean,
Yep.
come on, really.
I think that's why we
Jellyfish-
started. That's why we started talking because I'm like, yeah,
That's why that's why this
Jellyfish.
band exists. Yeah, and
Yeah.
You know, me and Mark, back in the beginning, we would
Yep.
sit in his house and harmonize on Beatles songs, and that's
Yep.
kind of how we figured out like that we love doing this. But Jellyfish was always part of the conversation. So,
And then I saw you backstage at that show,
yep,
Jimmy, before we even knew each other.
yep.
But we
And I was like,
kind
I
of knew
know
who,
that guy.
and we were like, oh yeah,
The nod.
yeah, you're like
I know
the
you.
metal guys that are like at power pop shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
Nah, look, Jellyfish was going to come up at some point. So I'm
I
surprised.
feel like New Mistake has to be on the playlist.
Yeah. Okay. So my power pop pick, because they were on my list, but I'll just throw some real quick. For power pop, my picks were New Mistake and All I Want to Be Is Wanted.
Oh yeah.
New Mistake would be my favorite. Also, that's
New
those are
Mistake
my
is,
two.
is great.
Yep.
But,
I mean,
again, another everything
For
they.
that outro alone.
Yes.
Yeah.
The outro alone is like one of the greatest things ever recorded. So
Are you
and
talking
we
about
Well,
New
still-
and
Mistakes?
how
You're talking
about-
about Ghost of Number One, because Ghost of Number One has that.
Yeah, another-
Oh,
vamp
no,
at the
that's the
end.
one I'm thinking of. Ghost of Number
Yeah,
One.
Ghost
We
of Number One. That
completely
vamp at the
stole
end
that
is
for Alien.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
But
And we
New
had
Mistake
Roger
has
Manning
that,
play on it. So
New Mistake has that thing where it comes out of that chorus into the guitar solo, and there's that like children's piano on it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I always tell people when I'm praising that record, you can feel when it gets to that part that like the sky opens. Like there's so much vastness going on there.
Yeah.
It gives me I probably heard that song
That's Jack
20,000
Joseph magic
times.
going on there.
Yes.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
JJP
totally. Yeah, yeah.
magic right
Yeah, yeah.
there for sure.
Oh my God. Yeah, it's
Can't
so
say enough about
fantastic.
Jellyfish, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's not.
How about the playlist, Mike? You just put both Spilt Milk and Belly
just
Button on
full
there. We just
albums,
call it
and
good.
that would be it. There's
Accurate.
your ultimate power pop playlist. No, but there are other bands, and it's my turn now. So I'm just going to go with another obvious pick. I'm going to go with Badfinger.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you got to turn back the clock a little bit for that one, and of course, obviously the huge McCartney influence with them as well. I mean,
Literally.
Yes.
And the two songs I went with are the obvious ones, No Matter What, and Come and Get It. And I love the story about Come and Get It. Like they wanted Paul McCartney to like produce their album. Paul's like, well, if you do, you need to do like 3 of my songs.
Yeah.
and Come and Get It was one of them. But what he would do is he didn't want Pete Ham singing it. I think it wound up being like the drummer who actually sang Come and Get It, because he actually went through the whole band to try to find who could sing it best, essentially.
There's a great demo of that on Beatles Anthology 3, the Paul demo of
Yeah,
it.
it's
I
Paul's
think
version
I
of
think
it.
Tom sang that one though.
What's
Tom,
that?
yeah, the bass player Tom.
Oh, the bass
sang
player.
that one.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
What about Day
because
After
it wasn't
Day?
Pete Ham, so
Another
Yeah,
Day
great
After Day is a
album.
great
Wasn't
song
Lee,
too,
yeah.
and there's so many great songs. The problem with my own rules of picking 2 is like, well, you can pick 12 from each of these bands,
Right.
really
Oh, yeah.
easily. But the fact of the matter is that we'd have like a 4,000 hour playlist. So we're just trying to get it to like the concentration. And then the good thing about it is anybody who's listening to it and they want to go and venture off on their own, they can. Like, oh, cool, I want to hear more about that band.
Yeah.
Let me look it up.
Find the
so that's what
band,
the playlist is for. Is kind of like, we give you the introduction and then you take it from there and make
It's
it your
just
own.
a sampler platter.
It's
Yes.
just a sampler platter. Yes, it is the crudité of music.
It's a
Second time you've used crudité in the podcast.
No. I said charcuterie earlier. So
Oh,
I
I'm
went,
sorry. My-
Being that you're vegan, I went with the vegetarian
Thank
version of
you.
it. So, Nick, you're up, buddy.
Okay. My next pick is the one, the only Big Star. Have to be on there.
Godfathers.
Yes,
Yeah.
the Godfathers. Their influences through everything. Of course, both. Well, all 3 records are great, but the first number 1 record and Radio City are just they're masterpieces. So one from each album, I would say from Radio City, September Girls, which Jim said Vanishing Girl is one of the best power pop songs ever written. I think I would make a case that September Girls is the best power pop song ever written. And then the ballad of, what is it? The ballad of El Goodo on number 1 record.
Yeah.
Chris Bell and Alex Chilton just at their absolute best.
Yep. That's an amazing song. Yeah.
Yes.
Good choices. Mark, you are up, sir.
Oh boy. All right, so I'm going with deep stuff, not obvious shit.
Nah, it's great.
So this is and it kind of ties in 2 things here and stuff. So there's a band called the Choir Boys, not the London Choir Boys. These guys were Australian. They Australian band. They came this one record particularly came out in 1983. So talking about to go to covers, they actually Rough Cut covered Never Gonna Die on their first
Which
record.
I never knew
in 85.
wasn't a Rough Cut song.
Yeah, me
Yeah, it
either.
wasn't a Rough Cut song. It was a Choir Boys song. So you got to go back and listen to the Choir Boys Never Gonna Die. It's such.
Yeah, you turn me on to this.
The band is, they have a punk edge, but there's another song in the record. So you're never gonna die off the original Choir Boys record, and there's a song called You're With the Big Boys Now. Just fucking insane power pop. The guitar player has the greatest Marshall guitar sound, like fucking awesome. Like you just gotta listen to it and you'll hear what I'm saying. But there's just cool, it's such the production. It's just so it's such a cool power pop sound, and they're so undercover. Like, so I mean, the only reason why I looked up these guys because I love that Never Gonna Die song by Rough Cut because I'm a fan of them.
Yeah,
I just have visions of Amir Durak floating through my head.
No, of course. And to get to covers and stuff, I probably, the Rough Cut song, I like the Rough Cut version better just because it's so fun. Because that's the first song I heard. But,
wait a minute, there seems to be a theme with Amir Durak then, because they covered that song and you love it, and then when he joined Orgy, they covered Blue Monday.
Right.
So there was that. Amir Durak does great metal covers. Let's just say any band he's in will do a great metal cover.
Wait. Somebody from Rough Cut was in Orgy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Amir Durak, the guy with the Yeah.
He was super young when he was in Rough Cut. He was really young when he was in Rough
Cut. Army flight guitars and with the stars. Yeah. He had great Charvels and stuff like that.
So
but
funny.
yeah,
I love that song. I used to play that Rough Cut, that one song over and over all the time. Like, even in the mid '80s, I was a closet power pop fan before I knew.
I remember talking about with you even during FUZZBUBBLE. You loved that song, and I was just and I'd never known the Choir Boys version up until just a couple years ago. But everyone's got to check out the Choir Boys. It's a 1983 record, but you're with the Big Boys Now and Never Gonna Die, fucking insane. And the Marshall guitar, the fucking guitar sound, and the player he's an amazing fucking player. And the guy's lead vocal is just so fucking good. You'll fall in love with it. It's great stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Check it out. Yeah.
Jason, you are up next.
Okay. Big influence on the band directly, and I love them personally. I'm going with the Posies.
Wow. Okay.
My two tracks come from Frosting on the Beater, Flavor of the Month, and Dream All Day. You guys familiar with this?
No.
I'm not.
Oh, really?
What?
You two guys? No. I know Mark and Jimmy are. Oh, my
was
God.
on my list.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you know what? End the podcast.
Run, Don't Walk, and by Frosting on the Beater.
Frosting on the
He
Beater.
laughed.
Yeah, he laughed.
Yeah,
Frosting on
Marcus-
the Beater. I also love Amazing Disgrace.
it's heavier, but yeah, it's a great record.
Yeah, but Frosting on the Beater. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah,
And
you
Dear
guys are in for a
23
treat.
is a great record.
Mark
Yeah,
is
you guys
frozen
have
beyond
to get
frozen.
that record. Yeah, Marcus,
Yeah.
Mark, you're frozen. Your video's frozen.
Is Mark still here?
He's got to reboot.
No.
I'm gonna text him.
We'll give him a minute.
Oh my God, you guys. Yeah, Frosting on the Beater.
All right, I'm
That is
taking
a
notes.
Perfect
Amazing.
power
Yeah, I
pop
wrote it
record.
down. Trust me, it's
Recorded
written down.
during the grunge era, so it's like Don Fleming produced it, who we spoke to about producing our record
Almost
because of
produced
that record.
FUZZBUBBLE. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked and we hung out with him in his apartment in New York, and that record has one of the greatest guitar sounds on it, like bar nothing. It's incredible guitar record because they were like kind of grungy and noisy, but they got these two sweet vocal harmonies going on. The two of them both,
It's amazing.
both sing. My two picks from that record were three: Flavor of the Month, Solar Sister,
Another great
Definite
one.
Door. The song "Definite Door," which is a 100% influence on "Big Time Nowhere," one of our songs. I totally went for that vibe. So yeah, man, get into the Posies. They're amazing. From Seattle.
I'm playing it as soon as we're done.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, for real, you'll love it.
You will love it.
See,
I think
here's
you
the
guys
funny
will
thing.
love
Like
it.
Nick and I do this every week. You know, we do one of these shows, and like we have our segments at the end that we do discovered. And hey, man, he left for now. He'll be back, I'm sure. But you know, we'll do like, oh, I never heard that cover. Hey, man, could you? You know, so I'll send him a link, or he'll send me a link, and we'll be like, wow. And that's what's great about this is that we still learn about music from each other. And learning from you guys is even better because, you know, you guys obviously are passionate about it. So it's like, yeah, me and Nick are taking notes.
Yes.
You will, like Jimmy said, I think you'll hear how the Posies influenced us. Exactly.
Yeah. Roger was like, yeah, I agree. He's like, how did you not know?
Rough
Jim,
cut.
you're up. Oh.
Okay, I'm up. I'm gonna go with another obvious one of our big influences, Red Cross.
They were on my list as well.
Let's see if we have any of the same songs. So I picked from Third Eye. I picked Bubblegum Factory, Stoned from Show World, and One Chord Progression also from Show World. But I could have picked either all of Phase Shifter, all of Show World, and all of
Neurotica.
Third Eye, and Neurotica too. But Third Eye, Neurotica's vaguely a power pop album. It's more like a crossover punk to power pop record, but they're all great records. And hell, the one with they put out a few years ago with Downtown on it.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Researching
my
the
God.
Blues.
That song Downtown is an amazing power pop song.
Yes, that was one of my Red Cross songs, along with Jimmy's World from I
Jimmy's
think
Fantasy, yeah.
Jimmy's Fantasy, yeah. Which I think is on. Is that on Phase Shifter?
It's on Phase Shifter. Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
first song on Phase
Yep.
Shifter.
And a quick shameless plug on Red Cross, right? Cult Stars from Mars. We did cover One Chord Progression,
Yeah.
which is on
And
Bandcamp.
Eddie, the guitar player, I became friends with him when I moved to LA, and he ended up producing the first FUZZBUBBLE demo album that ended up we got us signed, and he played guitar on Bliss. He played this guitar solo on Bliss, and I wrote "Goodbye, Dear Friend" for him when he passed away. So he was a good friend, and he was an amazing guitar player and
Great
good
guy.
people and all of that. So
Yeah, Red Cross, big influence.
yep.
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 I feel sad now. Okay. Moving on. I went with somebody I just totally forgot because I just lost my complete train of thought.
I totally forgot. I'm not familiar with them.
Oh yeah, they're great. They have an album called What the Fuck and Who Are You is the lead song.
That sounds like a power pop album.
Right? God damn, where did it? Oh, shit, I just lost my complete train of thought and I had everything lined up for it.
You didn't write this down?
You didn't write it down? Yeah.
No, I had everything in my head because I'm,
That
an
makes
idiot.
sense.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's
What could
real-
go wrong?
Yeah,
This is the same mind that says Ringo's not a good drummer, right?
Exactly.
I just want to
Yes, yes,
clarify,
thank you.
right?
Thank
Same-
you.
Just need to point that out. Yeah.
Yes.
Let me make a note of that.
Okay, I remembered now. Does that mean that Ringo could now suck? Okay.
Still no.
No.
Still no.
So this one's an interesting choice because the band itself is power pop, but more the songwriting and the songwriter, Fountains of Wayne.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I love him.
Yeah.
And I went with that, but specifically Adam Schlesinger because Stacy's mom is going to be on the list, but basically the entire That Thing You Do soundtrack
Great.
is fantastic, and he wrote all
The
that
song.
with Tom Hanks, like whatever. But yeah, I mean, like such a great mind for melody and harmony and hooks, and actually passed away in 2020
During the pandemic.
Right,
He was one of the first
From- one of the
COVID-19
first
deaths.
guys, yeah.
He died like
That's
the
a
first week of
tragedy.
April of 2020. So
Tragedy, man.
yeah, total tragedy. Because so
Great
much
songwriter.
talent.
Yeah.
Great songwriter. So yeah, he and the band is going on my list. So it's like a split. But yeah, definitely the song That Thing You Do. You can't tell me you can listen to that song without smiling.
Yes.
No,
Like-
it's
Amazing.
fantastic. It's a great movie,
know.
too. Hey,
Interesting
listen,
about
real
that
quick,
movie-
by the way, Mark is texting me that he's saying he's trying to get in.
I don't see him.
Okay.
Tell him to try
go on.
harder.
Troy Arda. Interesting thing about That Thing You Do, the soundtrack. So when they were doing that movie, they put out a call to all these bands to write a song called That Thing You Do. My friend in LA, Anthony, who basically hooked me up with all kinds of stuff. He had a band called the Hollow Bodies, another great kind of alt country, well, Americana, but power pop sort of band called the Hollow Bodies. And I recorded as an engineer a version of their version of That Thing You Do. And because all these bands submitted. And if you notice at the end of the movie, they play the Gigolo Ants, their submission of That Thing You Do. They have a song at the end. It's that's the Gigolo Ants, who's another great power pop band. But yeah, a lot of people submitted that thing you do's for that movie, and they picked the Fountains of Wayne for good reason. It was perfect, of just Schlesinger.
And then they got Mike Viola to sing it,
right.
Mike Viola from the Candy Butchers.
Yeah.
So again, more power pop.
Right.
It all just ties in there. So
Yeah.
That Fountains of Wayne album, Utopia Parkway, is amazing.
yeah,
He was a great writer, man.
Utopia Parkway sucks. Like the actual Utopia Parkway.
Right.
Is
You're
not
making
good.
sense.
It's not good. I think I saw Ringo like panhandling on Utopia Parkway playing a
He wasn't signing autographs, we know that.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Nothing.
Nothing.
All right, we're running a little long on time here, and I know Jay has a hard stop.
That was
at 8, so...
that was Pete Best. You were.
Yeah.
It's not Ringo.
What about Pete Worst? So we're gonna thank you guys for your submissions with this. We're gonna get to our last 2 segments here and let you guys go because I know that you hate me, and Jay has to go pick up his son. So there's that.
Well, now I have to pick up my son, and I hate you.
Yes. I mean, you've always hated me. This is just an
But
addendum.
after today, I think I hate you a little bit more.
After you ragged on Ringo.
Yeah.
Listen.
It's all good.
All I got to say is it's a Corvette, not a rocket ship. Inside joke. Anyway, so we have our last 2 segments of the show, which we're going to go through really quickly here. One is called Discovered, which is where we pick a cover song that we like as much, if not more, than the original. And then the second one is called This Song Sucks, which is basically great band, shitty song. So we're going to go reverse order here. I'm going to start off, and then we're going to go down counterclockwise here. And I'm going to start with Discovered. And my cover, and I alluded to this last week, because we were talking about Montrose last week. So I went with, and this is a bonus track that you can't find on an album, but I think you could find it. It's on Apple Music. Tesla did a cover of Rock the Nation and did an incredible version of Rock the Nation. I didn't know it was a Montrose song at first because I was like 20 when I first heard it. I'm like, what the hell? This song is awesome. Why isn't this on an album? And it's like, oh, it's a Montrose cover. Let me hear the Montrose cover. All right, well, the Montrose original is pretty good. I love the Tesla version. Not taking anything away from the Montrose version, but if you haven't heard it, check it out. It's really, really good. Jim, do you have a cover?
Yeah, I have a tie for covers.
Ooh.
So I got 2. The obvious one, and we did our own cover of it, is Blinded by the Light.
Yes.
Which is, I think, the greatest cover version of anything ever of all time, because it's completely reimagined. And if you heard the Bruce Springsteen song, you go, how did you get this from that?
Yeah.
So the genius of Manfred Mann is right there in that song.
And you guys did your cover with
Mike
Jeff Scott Soto, Mike Portnoy, and Darian
Sahanaja from the Brian Wilson Band, and Mike's daughter Portnoy, Melody Portnoy.
Hey,
there he is.
He's a back.
And we could have done it with. We could have asked Dennis Smith. Yeah.
Yes.
Dennis Smith's grandma, because he was right.
Well, Dennis Smith's grandma, she's really good at lead triangle, from what I understand. So
I don't know. I had Blinded by the Light on there too.
My other, because I wanted to have 2 because that was too obvious. My other favorite cover is the Bangles version of Hazy Shade of Winter.
I love that version.
From Lesson 07.
But not the single version, the full version where it's actually the whole song, right?
Susanna Hoffs has been a guest on FUZZBUBBLE stuff too.
She has.
And we couldn't
my
be more
favorite
grateful
female
for that.
voice ever.
She's welcome back anytime.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll have to talk with her about that.
Jason, you are up, sir. Do you have a cover?
I mean, there's like a million Dylan songs that other people have done better than Dylan, in my opinion.
No. You and I were on the same wavelength. Now we've got a problem.
Okay, well, all right. I'll leave that. Okay.
Ringo sucks.
The Bobby Fuller 4 released a song called "I Fought the Law." I think I like the Clash version better.
I agree with you. That's a good call.
I agree.
I'm going to avoid conflict. Because clearly the ultimate topic issue is Ringo. So I like the Clash's version of "I
He
Fought the
doesn't
Law."
want to get into any clash.
Hey.
I don't want to get into it.
We got you, Mark. We got you.
Yeah, Mark, we got you.
We got you, buddy. I don't know if he's got us, but we have him.
You hear us?
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us, Mark? We're waving at you, Mark. Hi, Mark. He's just
gotta
muted
turn his
himself.
microphone on.
Unmute. Yeah, there you go.
He's frozen again.
Man,
He's almost. No, he's moving a little bit.
I don't know if that's like opt online.
challenged over
what's
there.
there on Long Island?
I think it's called Altice now or something
Oh,
silly.
really?
Yeah, it's some strange name now. I don't know. But maybe Mark will eventually hear us.
I
And
can't fucking
we'll-
hear you guys.
Oh yeah, we can hear. We can hear you though.
We hear,
hear you.
We hear you.
We hear you.
Hold
We
on.
hear you.
I know what to do. Speaking of Dylan.
Damn it.
Uh-oh.
No.
Oh, you can hold the cards up.
Yeah.
I can't hear you guys though.
Yeah.
I don't fucking hear anything.
I know. Trying to do a podcast in it.
Yeah,
I don't know what the fuck is up.
All right, well, Mark can watch, and with he's gone again. All right, Nick, you go. We're running out of time.
all right. For Discovered, I picked, Mike, you mentioned it earlier on that Jellyfish box set, their version of No Matter What by Badfinger.
So good.
Yeah, that's
Great live version.
See, we're
Absolutely.
not. We're still on the same.
You can't knock Dylan though.
Don't sweat the small stuff.
All right, so that's Discovered, but now we're on to This Song Sucks. Now, you guys have done this before, but now there's an intro for This Song Sucks.
Oh no.
You ready?
I've got
And
5
this
minutes.
is power pop at its finest. You guys
This is
need
the
to take
best-
some notes
This
now.
is your
All right, go
best
ahead.
15 seconds you will ever live through. Ready? Here we go.
I actually love that. I do.
I like the monkey.
Yeah, that was great. Jimmy texted me that image the other day.
I did. I texted him.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, Mark's back. Hey, there's
Hey,
Mark.
there he is.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
I can't fucking hear you guys. Though. I don't know what the fuck happened. This is fucking terrible.
Oh, the show's just
fuck
gone
me,
off the
man.
rails.
I don't know what I'm doing.
This show sucks.
Hey,
That's
hey,
amazing.
I'm sorry.
wait a minute. Ringo
I'm
sucks.
sorry, yeah.
No, Ringo does not suck.
And to be clear, Dylan doesn't suck. I just like those other
Settings.
I'm trying.
back. All right, can I give you my This Song Sucks? Because I made
Yes.
that cut for time, and then you could get rid of me too.
Yeah, it's all good. You can bolt after that,
Okay, here's
and then we'll deal with Mark and doing some sign language.
yeah, exactly. Great band, shitty song.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Kokomo by the Beach Boys.
Fantastic.
I mean, I love the Beach Boys.
Well
I hate that
done.
song.
Well done. Yeah,
Love
Kokomo really just kind of sucks a big hairy.
Really
dick.
bad. Like
That's where I wanna go.
I'm not feeling it.
Oh God.
I'm not feeling it.
John Stamos, Beach Boys.
I'll tell you real quick. I was at the Jellyfish show that I saw Jimmy
All right,
at.
you guys got me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I could finally. I don't know what the fuck happened. Whatever. Sorry.
Well, we'll get back to your
Settings.
pick in a second. Right now, we're on something called This Song Sucks.
All right,
so-
I missed a lot. I'm sure, but go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
no. You didn't miss anything
bit,
except for the
little
fact
bit.
that Jay finally admitted that Ringo sucks. It was
Okay.
great. It was like such a come to Jesus moment.
How did you get to do that? But I don't know. Yeah.
Look, and Jay's doing an impression of you. It's amazing.
No, I'm just kidding.
I think Mike is freezing everybody out.
I don't know.
Yes, on purpose, because I'm trying to sabotage my own show. Oh
Well,
God!
Listen,
All right,
Yeah.
moving
you
on.
don't have to stop the show on my account.
We're
I have
almost
to go.
done at this point.
But
Yeah, we're
Nick,
almost done. We have
listen,
3 more picks, and then that's
I know,
it. So,
but I'm
4
gonna
more picks.
go. I'm gonna let you guys finish it. Nick,
Yes.
happy birthday to your mother.
Happy birthday to
Happy
yours.
birthday to your mom.
Thank you. Dylan doesn't suck. Of course,
No.
Dylan doesn't suck.
But
I'm just
Ringo
saying
does.
I usually like the covers better. Kokomo
guess-
sucks.
I'm with them.
Kokomo does suck, yes.
And it was great meeting you. Mick, what can I say that you'll allow to be replayed?
There's a long story behind the name Mick, so there's that.
Thanks for having us. Mark,
Good seeing you, man.
I think he knows he's heard because he
I
heard the
love you. I
paper
got
now.
you. Have a good night.
Jay, I'll
Jay,
see you
leave.
next
Go
see
pick
you-
up your
I'll
son,
see you at
Jay.
rehearsal.
We got these other two guys still.
I'll see you.
go.
Yeah, I'll see you in about a month.
yeah.
I'll see you at rehearsal
Everybody
next
stay
weekend.
tuned. Yeah, you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, stay tuned. Listen to these
Yes.
guys. They're much more entertaining. Bye, you guys.
Thank you,
See you,
Jason, for
Jason.
joining us.
Love you. Bye.
Salud.
And then there
Bye-bye.
were two.
Salud.
Oh no, Jay's still here. Oh no, wait. Now we can talk about him. Let's go.
All right.
Ringo doesn't suck. Jay does. No, Jay's a great drummer. Jim,
I agree.
what song sucks?
Okay, I'm glad Mark is here for this because he already knows what I'm going to say.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Oh, come on!
I fucking hate that song.
No.
No.
I disagree.
No,
I disagree
I
as well.
disagree. No.
fucking no.
right.
If you were fucking
come
when
on.
Kiss came out with that song, I was like, I was already done with them, but then I was really done with them.
You know what I was expecting you to say? Like Great Off Destroyer. Like fuck you.
What? I
No,
love
I
Great
was-
Expectations.
Yeah, that's
I
great,
love
yeah.
that
Not I
song.
was made for love. I was made for love you is a fucking great hit song.
You won't hear me say anything by Kiss sucks. A buddy of mine always says Nick's not in the Kiss army; he's in Kiss ISIS.
Oh, God. All right, explain yourself. Go ahead.
That's exactly what it sounds like to me. It's a big fucking turd.
Oh,
Yeah.
come on.
Man, I just fuck you.
No, it's not their finest moment.
No, but it's
I was made for loving you. Is not fit to smell my shit.
I get
No,
it.
Paul McCartney
I
brings
really
up a
just-
good point. The Kiss's best song, "Turn on the Night." Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
As a growing up at that time and being part of the Disco Sucks movement, to hear your favorite rock band to do
I'm
a
sure,
fucking
yeah.
disco song was just like, I mean, I checked out on them after Alive 2 anyway, but I still like, I hear that song, I'm just like, man, that's the bathroom song. If I ever go see Kiss, that's the bathroom song.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah, that was the
Anton
nail on the
Fig on
coffin.
drums, dude.
I don't
Anton
care,
Fig.
man. I don't
Yeah.
care. Anton Fig did a lot better shit than that.
That's true. Like "Rip It Out" off the Ace
Yes.
solo album.
Yeah,
Very true.
anything
All right, now wait.
just-
Now, Jim, let me ask you this. Now, the last time you guys were on, I picked a song and you guys railed me about. All right, and that was "Gonna Raise Hell" by Cheap Trick.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That song sucks.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it does.
Well, no, it
No,
only
I
it
picked
only
that too,
sucks
'cause I
because
think it's
that-
the
'cause
worst
it's so
song.
long. They could have chopped off like half of it.
Yeah, it's a
Great song,
9-minute
just too
long disco remix shit song.
Right.
And the thing is,
I agree
now,
with you. I don't like that song. I don't like
So,
that song.
but the thing is, like, we give you shit about that. You gave me shit about that last time. So that's all I'm saying.
I didn't, because I hate that song too. actually.
Okay. All right. Jim and I agree on one thing.
Yeah, one. That's it. The rest. Yeah, no, I don't even hate it so much as just like, it's 9 minutes and it should be 3. you
Yeah.
know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it goes on
It's
3
got
times as
Moments,
long
it's
as it
got,
should.
I mean, Xander puts in great vocal performance on
Yep.
it.
Yep,
But
great screams
fucking
and
end the
stuff. Yeah,
goddamn
yeah.
song already. And the fact that they did it for the specific purpose of disco remixes are hot right now makes it a fucking turd on that record.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I agree with you.
Thank you. But all right, so your pick was "I Was Made for Loving You." Nobody agrees with you, except
okay.
yourself. But I guess that's all right as elder statesman.
I'd agree with you. I would agree with you guys, but then I would be wrong too. So
Yeah, there you go. Mark, since you had technical difficulties, we missed your pick for Discover, where we talked about a cover song that we like as much, if not more, than the original. So let's get that pick from you too. So did you
All
have a
right.
cover song that you like as much, if not more, than the original?
So I'm gonna go outside the box and not really stick to what the question is. Since I'm a big Van Halen fan, every fucking cover song that Van Halen did is better than the original, hands down. And I
Yes.
know it's got nothing to do with power pop, but it's just because it's Van Halen but every
Dancing
Van
in the
Halen
Streets?
song they did, they completely rewrote the
Yes.
songs I don't have to go on.
I'm going to agree with you there.
The only one that comes close that the original might be better is the original You Really Got Me, because that song, it came out in '64. Like that had such a swagger to it. So that's the only close one.
Well, that was innovative. That was
Well,
exactly.
I might disagree because I do love the Ronstadt version of You're No Good.
No, I love the Ronstadt version too, but what Van Halen did to it, they completely. I mean, it doesn't even sound like the Ronstadt version. It's like it's their own. They might as well be an original song.
They were a great cover band.
Everything Van Halen did was just so, you know. But I love the Linda Ronstadt song. I fucking love it. Yeah.
Big Bad Billy, Sweet William Now.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think Leon Redbone did a cover of that. Fucking great version. Yeah.
I think me and Mike had a huge disagreement about Secrets because that's
because I fucking despise that song.
I love that song.
I know you do.
But whatever.
And just because you're wrong doesn't mean I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever, dude.
But
Look,
so that's my cheesy outside the box cover song better than the whatever that I missed or whatever.
Hey, look.
But I would say your rough cut. It would make a good one. I mean,
well, no, exactly, and that's where the rough cuts hide in. I think the rough cut version is better than the Choir Boys, but I want everyone to listen to the original Choir Boys version.
Because it's also good.
Yeah. So, but that's it.
Now that you picked your cover,
yeah.
Were you here for the intro? He wasn't here for the intro.
No, I missed it.
Oh, well,
I missed a lot.
We have to, because we just love it so much. We need to play the intro for this
Get
song.
ready,
Sucks
Mark.
Again. You ready? Again,
right.
15 seconds of your life you'll either love or never get back again. One of the two. And there you have it.
Thank you. No, thank you for that. That was awesome.
That was awesome. I'm glad to have it that 15 seconds again because it was great.
Yeah. Yep.
Look, I'm a shitty guitar player. I'm a shitty podcast host. I'm a decent guitar salesperson. But, man, can I write 15-second, jingles like that? Yeah, all day long.
Oh, you wrote that. That was pretty cool, man.
I wrote and played and recorded that whole thing. That's all me.
And is you at the end?
No, that was... All right, so that's
him
Nick and
after
I
a
have been
5-pound burrito.
Yeah, that's what's happening in the bathroom after I go to La Casa Garcia. No, it's this, and it's like some random, royalty-free scream sound. It's this. It's so good.
Fucking funny, man.
In the future, if you ever need anything, I could do that for you if you want.
Mark's great at
if you ever need anything, yeah. But that's good though, yeah. At least you didn't pay anything for that. Yeah.
No, I think I ripped it off of YouTube for free. Kind of like I did your video. Which, by the way, if you go back, because this is going to live on YouTube, and it'll always be there, which is great. But if you go and you watch tomorrow on Facebook, this will live on Facebook, except for that 3 minutes and 35 seconds. They will take it out.
Exactly.
And they'll be like, oh, this is copywritten material. Oh, you're like,
yeah.
Really? I'll give them $1. How does that sound? I'll buy them a beer. Can I do this? I just feel like going, every time that happens. So
that's great.
Anyway, Mark, it is your turn for a song that sucks. Now, again, the rules are it's great band, shitty song.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know what made me think of this one. Maybe it came up on my iTunes or whatever, but I'm not the hugest Queen fan. I love all their stuff, have all their records and stuff. So Queen is the band, and the song is I'm in Love with My Car.
Oh, no way.
You don't like that?
No way.
So for me, I can't. I'm not a fan of Roger Taylor's voice. Any of the songs he does, I don't know if I'm the only guy. I cannot. Nothing. It does nothing for me.
So, point of reference: last night, Roger Taylor performed "I'm in Love with My Car."
No, I'm sure. I'm sure he did, and I know Taylor Hawkins was a huge fan and stuff.
Huge.
But I just can't. I'm not a big,
I love his voice.
it's just, I was just,
He's the
It's
high
just-
voice.
it's
in
just-
Yeah,
Queen.
he's the high voice and all that.
Yeah,
you know.
but it's to me, he just and his vocal and that high voice always just
Dude, you could have
mixed
picked
in with
something
Freddie
from Hot
sounded
Space.
amazing.
Yes, right.
That whole thing
When
is a
he's singing
turd.
by himself, hearing him do those trills. It's he kind of I'm not a fan of it. Like I said, I'm not a huge Queen fan. It's just like I'm a rocker. Like I love Queen, but any of his singing, and I love my car. Fuck that. Have a cigar or whatever. Fuck another one. Fucking skip. Yeah.
Just go with Hot Space because it's worse than all. That album is worse than any.
Well, that was the disco
bad-
'82. Yeah.
terrible,
Yeah.
terrible.
I mean, that's
That's
I don't know
awful.
why I picked that one. It's just it came up and I fucking you know, yeah, out of here. Gone, yeah. Yep.
Fair enough. It goes on the list. And by the way,
Yeah.
that list for anybody watching can be found on Spotify,
Yep.
and it'll be in
It's
the
just
links
my
here. once
shitty
we're
ass
done.
opinion. That's all. You know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I put the disclaimer at the beginning. These
Exactly, I
are all just
love it.
opinions.
Yeah.
And
all
for
just
me, for
opinions.
Kiss set the bar so high. So when they put out "I Was Made for Loving You," it just
Oh yeah. No, I
That's a
get
lot.
I
it,
think-
especially where you were at the point in your life hearing that you were like, "Fuck this, man." You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
not having this today. Thank you.
I thought you were going to say that they set the bar high for shitty songs because they have a lot.
Here we go.
Well,
They got
in the
lots.
80s,
Go.
in the '80s, yeah.
Yeah, in the
But in-
80s, like
In
Up
the 80s,
until-
you could compile
Up
the greatest hits
until
of shit.
Alive
Yeah.
2, pretty much all of it was pretty great.
Yes.
yes, yeah.
And
By the way,
especially
I
the first three.
finally got a copy of Kiss the Originals.
Oh, me too.
I know.
I did too. Without
I've
the-
had one for a long
Yeah, I
time.
know. I'm Mark
Mike's
found a
the new
really
guy.
mint copy of it. I'm like, I'll take it if you don't want. He's like,
Yeah, really,
I don't
jeez.
know. I might keep it. I was like, yeah, you
It
should.
was
take it.
$30. It didn't have any of the stuff, but it was in good
Oh.
condition. Yeah.
Now I got a Japanese press, and it's in really good condition with the cards
Oh,
uncut.
fuck.
It's not
with
one of
the
those
sticker,
weird bootleg ones, though, is
No.
it? It's
How much did
yeah.
you pay for it, Mike?
$1.25.
Yeah.
That's what I paid for mine, and the spine is shredded, but everything
Yeah.
else is good.
No,
Records are
Nick
great,
saw
too.
it. I mean, mine is pretty clean. Apart from a couple of scuffs on the cover, like the spine is in decent condition. Decent, not great, but decent
Yeah.
condition. All
Awesome.
the inners are great. It's got the booklet. It's got all the
The sticker.
the sticker. It's got everything. Plus,
Cards.
since it's Japanese, it has the lyric booklet in Japanese and in English.
Oh,
So,
wow.
which is a
Very
really cool
cool.
thing. The only thing it didn't come with was the obi.
The OB,
You know,
I was gonna
on the
ask.
top. That's the only thing. A lot of those are missing it. And what I found out recently is that a lot of those just get copied and bootlegged anyway. Like the Obies aren't the original. So,
Right.
so it sort of
Interesting.
is what it is. But anyway, Nick, what song sucks, my friend?
All right, I tried to stick into the power pop theme just because that's what we were focused on. So, one of the great power pop artists ever, I think, is Todd Rundgren.
Well, I'm with you. I already know what you're going to say.
Yep, one of my most hated songs ever. Bang on the
Yes.
I
bang
fucking
on
hate
the
that
drum all
song.
day.
I hate that song.
I don't know.
That's a great pick.
I don't know how a guy that great can write such a terrible song.
Yeah.
Yeah, but every Friday happy hour on a Zoo FM station, they
and
play it.
BAB, happy hour.
BAB, Z100, all of them. Yeah.
It's
How
awful.
did the guy who wrote "Hello, It's Me" come up with that fucking pile of crap?
I agree.
And he sold a lot of them, but good
And
grief.
sadly, more people probably know of "Bang on Your Drum," but but
Yeah.
it's money. Yeah, it's like
I can't express how much I fucking hate that.
Yeah, I hate that fucking song. I
That would-
agree.
if
Thank
I
you.
thought of it, it would have been my pick because that's a far worse song than I'll be made. I was
you
made for
definitely have
loving
to-
you.
You win the worst picks.
Yeah,
That's a good one. Yeah. You got it.
Thank you. Thank
Great
you.
one. Yep.
So for
And
me,
yeah.
Patrick Middlestat mentioned earlier, he was asking about Megadeth. Like, hey, has anybody, listened to the new Megadeth album, which I actually opened live on air last week just to prove
Sounded
what the
pretty
difference
good.
between mint and near mint is. And just by cutting open the top, well, now it's near mint. It's no longer mint. So anyway, I have not listened to the new album, but my This Song Sucks pick goes right to the heart of Megadeth. And that's the song Crush 'Em. That song is so just commercially awful.
What
And
album is that on?
It's on like Cryptic Writings, I think.
Uh,
And they remixed it for a single for like WCW or something, one of those things, and it's just bad.
Is it as
it's-
bad as "Hello, Me, It's Me Again"?
No, Sweating Bullets is
of course,
good.
yeah,
hate
that's
that
horrible.
Fucking hate. That
I like
song.
Sweating Bullets. And by the
that's
way,
horrible.
that album is available on MoFi.
Shitting
Yeah.
bullets. Oh, that's awful.
Shitting bullets.
Shitting bullets.
That's what happens after you go to La Casa Garcia. That's
Hello, me. It's me again.
what happens
Oh,
is
my
you
God.
go to La Casa Garcia, you get a 5-pound burrito, you start shitting bullets, and then that's what
that
happens.
stupid song comes on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you hate that song so much?
Oh, can I
It's so dumb.
can I just add a couple things since I was
Yeah.
out of the picture and stuff
Sure.
as far as covers.
Yeah.
And a couple of the power pop songs that I'm sure you guys know, but maybe the listeners don't know. For cover songs that are better than the original, New York Groove, Ace Frehley.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if
Yes.
anyone hasn't heard the Hello version, that record,
great.
I think it came out in
Fantastic.
'76. Russ Ballard wrote that song, but that record has a lot of cool. It's a great
Glitter,
great pop
glitter
record.
power pop. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, great stuff.
Yeah.
Hello, I think they were a British band because Russ
Yeah, they
Ballard
were.
was yeah. But and Ace Frehley's version of course is better, but the
Just
original is
trumps
just
it,
so
yeah.
fucking cool to listen to because it's like, oh my god, yeah.
It's almost as good as the Ace version. He didn't better it by much, but
Yeah, no, it's great. Yeah,
Now there's like
great
Ace
band, though.
swagger though. Like there's that Ace
yeah, it's
swagger
got
on
the
it.
Ace
It's
Frehley,
just,
the dopey Ace voice. It's
Nice.
great.
Yeah.
And
And
Anton
it's
Here I am.
Anton Fig on that one too.
And as far as other power pop songs and stuff, that not that there were power pop records, but I know Jimmy, you were talking about these guys not too long ago. The first two Piper records of Billy Squire. So
Great
the
stuff.
song "Who's Your Boyfriend" is
Who's Your
fucking
Boyfriend
off that
is a
first
great
1976 record is
Great,
insane.
great.
I think he redid it on Tail of the Tape. But "Who's Your Boyfriend" off Piper is just ultimate power pop. It's just such a fucking great song. I know you guys know
Piper
it.
is a cool band.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
you
great
know, I'm going to throw up not a power pop band per se, but a great power pop song, "Cherry" by Stars. You guys know
Stars,
Stars?
yeah.
I know Stars.
Cherry was a very great power pop song. They were more of a hard rock Kiss type of band, but
Yeah.
I have to check it. Yeah.
and I don't know if any Michael Lee Smith, the singer.
Yeah.
I'm friends with him on Facebook, and he's fucking hilarious. He's really freaking
Cool.
He's in the hospital right now, and so I hope he gets better from whatever happened to him. But he posts the funniest fucking memes on Facebook. Really funny guy. He lives in El Monte, California, of all places, but
Nice.
around that area. And he's a process server. So like when you get you've been served, he's one of those guys.
You
Wow.
got served.
Yeah,
Cool.
basically. Yeah, he's funny as hell though. Michael E. Smith, if you're out there, shout out, brother.
Cool.
Hope you're doing okay.
Can I throw out another song for you guys?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Anybody hear of the band White Reaper?
No.
Write this down.
Writing
White
it down.
Reaper, and look up the song. Look up the song called Judy French. White Reaper.
What are they?
Judy
What era are they
French?
from?
They're within the past 10 years. Yeah, they're a newer
Okay.
band.
Oh, okay.
Judy
But your
French.
head's gonna explode when you hear this fucking song. It's
Wow.
it's so fucking power pop and great. Yeah, a buddy of mine told me about them. They have a couple records out there, more recent. White Reaper. The song's called Judy French. Fucking great. Just great
Oh,
power
check
pop
them
song.
out.
I
You know
put
where
it
they're
down.
from?
What's
Any
that?
idea where they? Any idea
Yeah,
where
I
they're
never
from? or-
researched and looked where they're from, but they got videos and stuff. There's a video for the song
Oh,
that I
cool.
mentioned. Yeah, but check
Are
them
you
out.
guys,
Yeah.
either you guys, Nick or Mike, are you guys the Sloan fans at all?
No.
I'm not familiar.
Sloan
Yeah,
is
not-
great.
not
I
really
have
Nick,
one or two
oh
that
my
are- Sloan
God.
is so good.
Nick, go look up Sloan. They're,
All right.
fuck, they're so good.
I'm
Yeah.
putting it
They've
on
been
my
around
list.
since 1990.
Yep.
Okay.
Records, every other from Canada, they're amazing.
They can. Yeah.
Great power
Great
pop
band. All of them fucking singing right.
They all sing. They switch instruments when they
switch
play.
instruments,
Like the
they're
drummer
fucking
will
great.
come out and play guitar and sing. The singer will go back and they switch instruments. They're great,
Yeah.
great band.
They all have cool voices. They all. It's
They
just.
got
Yeah,
great
they're
voice.
fucking
They're
great.
Beatle, like indie rock, but Beatle, and
Yep.
they're very cool. Yeah.
Anybody
Sloan.
who's still watching this is getting schooled, which is awesome.
It's a lot of great power pop, and there's
There
almost too much.
is.
It's like
Yeah.
surf music. There's so many amazing surf bands.
Yeah.
There's as many power pop bands. Just like
Mike-
every corner of the world has a great one.
Mike, we have to. Might be a moment in history. Okay, you and I didn't know who Sloan was, but Gall McCartney is familiar with their work, and we don't know
Money
about
City
it.
Maniac is a jam.
Yeah, Money City. Oh, that's like my favorite Sloan song.
Wow.
It's like if AC/DC did power pop. Fucking amazing. Thank you,
Wow.
Paul McCartney. And Sloan
Paul
14. And that album, Navy Blues, is a great record. Yeah, man. Go look up Sloan. You'll be busy for weeks. They're so
Sweet. I love
They
that.
sold 4 nights out. They did have a live album from Massey Hall in Canada. It was like they sold out like 3 nights at Massey Hall.
Wow.
It's
They
so
recorded
funny
a
that
live
like
album.
there's these regional bands like that we never hear of that are so popular in their home country.
Well,
But they just can't make it somewhere else. It's just weird.
a band
Well,
I put
they
on my
tour, but they do tour.
a band I put on my list that is based in the UK, which I know they can be a straightforward rock band, but their first couple of records are power pop records, in my opinion. The Wild Hearts. Are you guys
Oh,
familiar
yeah.
with the
Heard
Wild
of
Hearts?
them, I've heard
Yes,
of
the
them,
Wild
I've heard
Hearts.
of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that first Earth versus the Wild Hearts, that record is front to back killer.
Very punky pop, power pop. Yeah.
Yes, but they got the heavy hooks for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna throw this out and see, Mike, Nick. I hope you guys know who these guys are. The Merrymakers.
Yeah, it wasn't
Familiar
Tim.
with them.
And
Wasn't
Andy
Tim Smith?
Sturmer produced
Yeah.
their record. Andy Sturmer produced their record and
Yeah.
wrote a song and sang on. Played drums on it. Oh, you got to get it. Bubble Gun, it's called.
Okay.
Really?
Incredible
Gun.
record. Yeah.
Okay.
Andy
writing that
Sturmer
down.
is all over, and they sound. That's the closest thing to Jellyfish that isn't Jellyfish.
Wow.
Really?
Is the Merrymakers Bubble Gun record.
All right, I'm in. I'm in
I'm in.
immediately.
And David Muir is
Cool.
an amazing song. He's got solo records out. He's from Sweden, I believe. But Andy Sturmer produced it right after Jellyfish. He produced that Bubble Gun record, and it is almost as incredible as a Jellyfish record.
That's saying a lot.
It's saying, and
Yeah.
it's true.
Wow.
What about the outfield? You guys ever hear of the outfield?
Yeah, I'm not like a huge fan of them.
I was kidding. Well, look, I think Nick lost his crown. He
Yes.
was the king, but now he's the Joker.
Well, I knew I
which
wasn't
by the
gonna
way,
follow up
Nick
to these
is
guys.
the biggest Steve Miller fan you will ever meet.
No, that's
Nick
no. I
loves
fucking
Steve
hate
Miller.
Steve Miller. I fucking hate Steve Miller with a
I
passion.
love Steve Miller.
Oh no, come on.
Fly like an eagle, man. Come on.
Too hippy drippy for him, I guess. Yeah. Right.
He sends me fucking TikToks of him singing the Joker and just like it's so awful.
Because everybody sends it to me. 3 people sent me that video, and I responded to all of them, and I
Because
said,
you hate
I already saw this garbage.
You don't like Take the Money and Run?
No, can't stand it.
3-chord genius song.
Oh no, I hate. No, we've talked about this song before. I hate how they clap after every time he says Texas.
Yeah.
and I hate the lyric. They know exactly what the fax is. What a terrible lyric.
And then we did a whole episode of covers, like we did like the ultimate cover roundup, and turns out that was it Jet Airliner or whatever that song is.
Yep.
It's a
is a
cover.
cover.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, who was the idiot that wrote the dun, 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 who wrote that stupid riff? Was that Steve Miller? Or was that the original? Like, dude, just calm down.
I hate Steve Miller.
I like Steve
He
Miller.
does.
Okay, we disagree on one thing.
All right,
That's it.
one more band I'm gonna bring up. I hope everyone knows of them. The Biters.
From
The
Atlanta.
Biters, yeah.
Yes, from Atlanta.
Yes, yeah, they're
Yep.
great.
3 records, amazing. Very poppy, Thin Lizzy-ish rock, but great stuff. All 3
Yes.
records are amazing.
Very different than the Pillow Biters, which is a whole different.
Never heard of those guys. Yeah.
It's a whole different thing.
That's a whole other market. I think.
I have a
Yeah,
question
yeah.
for Nick. Did you acquire the Reverend Guitar Company?
No, we're just stocking their guitars. It's deep-rooted history in Detroit. They've had one store in our area that they've been the only people selling the guitars for
They're
25
cool
years.
Guitars.
Yes.
I like
Yes.
the guy in Fu Manchu has a model. It's
Yep,
cool.
Bob Bulk.
Yeah.
Yes, we got one of those in. Fantastic guitar.
How much do they retail for? Those.
$10.99 maybe?
Okay, they're cool guitars, man.
Yeah, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, neat.
Nick will
neat
sell you
guitars.
one.
Yeah, I'll sell you one. I'll hook you up.
I have like 500 guitars, man.
We all do.
Can never have enough guitars.
I know.
Exactly.
Very
It's
true.
It's
Ever.
true. I know. How
All right,
many
so-
Frankensteins do you have, Mark?
I have a lot.
He's got
I
like
have a
12
Really?
Frankensteins.
I have
Dude,
so many Van Halen guitars in this apartment. It's ridiculous. Yeah,
Getting the 78 Eruption that's coming out.
it's too much money. Yeah, I can't.
How much do they want for it?
like
Um,
$3,000 or something.
no,
Yeah,
no,
it's-
it's not
it's-
that. No, it's not that high. It's like I think they're 1,800.
Oh, so it's
I
Mexican
think it's a
made?
little more. Yeah, it's just I have the one that that EVH put out with the Floyd. You know, it's like I have one. You know, it's
He makes his own Frankensteins.
Oh
He
wow, you
buys
do it the
Kramer's and
real deal.
paints 'em.
Okay.
And paints them. Yeah.
yeah, but the ones that they put out are great too. I'm a Van Halen nerd.
You're on the screen here with a black belt level Van Halen fanatic.
Well,
Yeah.
when we do the Van Halen roundup, which we will, Mark is going to come back on with us. I'm going to invite you, Mark.
You should,
Mark, let me
because-
ask you this, because this has been talked about on multiple episodes. What's your feelings on Van Halen Dreams?
Oh, I mean, it's a great pop song.
It's a great pop song.
I like it. It's a complete different band. You know, they were a different band. So
I'm just
I mean,
going to get some
like it. I
popcorn and
don't-
watch
you know.
this happen. Okay.
I picked it as this song sucks.
Yeah, no, I think I saw something on that. That's okay. I mean, it's you know, it's complete 180 from the other stuff, but yet they were a different band. So yeah,
Nick
I
got
agree.
into a shouting match with our
yeah,
last
I mean, it was
guest
fucking different
about
band.
that song.
Yeah, me and the guy, well, one of the guys from Yachtly Crew got in a full throwdown argument about it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna get
There may or may not have been alcohol involved.
right,
Yes.
right.
So I
but-
got a question for you guys. What was your how was your feeling on Wolfgang playing Van Halen?
Phenomenal.
Yeah, I thought it was great
fucking
too.
couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I mean,
couldn't
just
believe
watching
how
him
good
at
he was.
Wembley was one thing. Watching him on TV, seeing it live
Yeah, how
was
was
like,
that?
oh my god!
I didn't know
Yep.
he could do that because he keeps saying, "I'm not my dad. I'm not my dad."
I know, but so just listen. So I'm friends. My buddy Mike Lusos. I don't know if he's gonna watch this and stuff. I play in his son's band, Mickey Licks. So Mike Lusos, he's a guitar guy. I've known him forever. He was helping me out with FUZZBUBBLE stuff back in the day. He's friends with this guy, Tommy from the Music Zoo. It's the biggest music store on Long Island.
Tommy's my bro.
You know Tommy? Okay,
He's one of
So
my
Tommy
accounts.
so Tommy is tight with Matt Bruck, who is he was Eddie's assistant forever.
Yep.
Matt Bruck is obviously with Wolfgang, and Tommy, heard from Matt Bruck that Wolfgang was practicing and rehearsing that shit all fucking summer long to nail it. And he
did.
nailed it. I mean, it was like he played Half a Teacher better than Eddie ever played Half a Teacher.
Yeah, he
Like,
ripped it.
Yeah.
yeah,
he killed it.
I mean, better than Eddie ever played. So, and it's it's
saying a
blood.
lot.
So but he rehearsed the shit out of it as per what Tommy said because he talks to Matt and stuff.
It's funny.
so.
I could rehearse that for 10 years and I would never come close to it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
He did it
that's
so
fucking
well,
blood,
man.
man. He's a fucking Van Halen.
Yeah.
And
He
he,
really-
proved
Close
right
as it
there that
gets.
he is a Van Halen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because,
Yep.
all he kept downplaying his ability, like, I'm not my dad, I'm not my dad. It's like,
Yeah.
fucking A, man. I think he waited for that moment to, like, spring that on us.
Yeah.
That was pretty incredible, man.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
were playing the Wembley live cast in the store as it was happening, and everybody that was in the store, because that was a Saturday afternoon that was
Just
on.
stopped, right?
Everybody
Yeah.
stopped and was staring at the TV, and they were like, "Is that seriously Wolfgang?" And we're like, "Apparently it is."
Yeah.
He was fucking
when
killing
they,
it.
When they started it and they said Wolfgang Van Halen and they started the drum intro, I'm like, he's not gonna he's gonna do it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really think. I thought it was like, I didn't think he was gonna play his dad's stuff. I
Yeah,
thought he was
Yeah.
gonna do something,
What,
but not
what,
that.
I mean, and he says I don't think he's going to do it after this. He's not going to do it because he just doesn't want to. He says he's never going to play a Van Halen song. But the only reason why I think he did it because Taylor was such a fan and he did it for his dad. So
Yep.
it was for the
I'm
both
glad.
of them.
I'm glad he did it, man, because
Yeah, no, it was for the both
really
of them.
was
He-
such a
he-
nice
it's-
surprise.
It's obvious in his Instagram posts and Twitters and stuff. He did it for the both of them. You know.
Yep.
You know,
And
people
I
say
will add that the Taylor's kid. I'm just going to say this right now. I think he took all his drum cues from Dave Grohl, not from Taylor.
that's what
we've
Mike
been
said
saying
too.
that.
Yeah.
we've
Yeah.
been
As
saying that.
soon as I saw him play My Hero, I'm like, he plays that like Grohl. Because I
Yeah.
always thought Taylor didn't play like Grohl. He didn't hit
No.
hard like Grohl.
Yeah.
His kid plays like Dave Grohl. I couldn't believe it. That was pretty fascinating.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
with getting back to Wolfgang, everybody says, you have your little bit of your you know, your father and you and what have you. It looks like he ate his father, but I just
That's mean.
Again, you had to bring that one around again.
yeah, I did. It was good. But look at Paul McCartney's comment. Nobody's acknowledging this.
Maybe they'll bring back
Sharon.
Gary Sharon if we're lucky.
If we're lucky. No, I hope we get another extreme record. Fuck that, you know.
Yeah. No, I want a re-release of Van Halen 3.
Oh no.
I've never heard that record. It's
Give
really
me,
old.
yeah,
And
let's
you
have the
shouldn't.
next extreme record. You know, that's how I want to hear Gary.
That's or bring back what was it? Mitch whatever his name is. the
Mitch
blonde haired-
Malloy.
Mitch
Yeah.
Malloy. There you
when
go.
was
There you
he
go.
in? Was that after Gary Sharon?
It was like in between. It was
In
like
between or some bullshit. Yeah.
yeah, and it
Hard.
never happened.
He's like a horrible karaoke singer, I guess, or
Yeah.
whatever. you
But
know?
I think he's like singing for like Great White or somebody now. Like some
could be. Yeah.
somebody. I forget who
Those
he's
guys
singing
make
for.
the
but
rounds. They get the gigs.
They
you know.
do.
Yep.
All they
Good
need
for
to have
him.
is long hair.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I have none, but that's besides the point. All right, guys, thank you so much. We've gone way over what I intended, but it's cool because it's always fun to talk to you guys. Thank you so much for coming on again.
Thanks
Hell
for having
yeah.
us, man.
Let's
Fun.
do some plugs. Let's talk about the show dates again.
November 18th at Lucy's in Pleasantville with Superhero. Tickets are still available, but they're going. And with November 19th at the Paramount, my hometown in Huntington, Long Island, with Last in Line and the Mighty Zebra.
Yeah.
Not
And
sold
Mark,
out, unfortunately, but maybe there'll be some tickets come available.
There you go. And Mark, your dates with Mr. Donnie V.
Oh God, I don't have a calendar for. I believe it's October 15th, it's a
18th,
Saturday,
October
and it's
15th.
going to be at the Patchogue Theater opening for Warrant. I'll be playing with Donnie V, lead singer of Enough, lead ex-singer of Enough's Enough.
And who's in Warrant now?
It's Warrant is the original band minus Janie.
Yeah,
I
with
forget the
I think
singer's name,
Robert
but it's-
Mason's the singer.
Mason, yes, thank you. Yeah, but
Yeah.
It's the original Warrant band, which is kind of cool, I guess. Yep, great band, great songs. Yeah,
Yes.
You talk about pop. That was
Oh,
was
fuck yeah.
That was real pop there in the late
Those-
80s, early 90s.
those first couple records are great.
Yeah.
Uncle Tom's Cabin and all that.
That's
second
yeah.
record
that's
was
my
pretty
favorite song of the hair metal genre, if you even want to call them hair metal, but that era, you know,
Yeah.
Uncle Tom's Cabin is
Yeah,
a
great
fucking
song.
jam. Yeah.
Great
Great
stuff.
song.
You know, when I first heard Warrant, just a little quick story. I heard it on Fingers Metal Shop, which was on WBAB on Sunday nights
Yep.
in Long Island, 102.3 FM, and he played "Dirty Rotten Filthy Stinking Rich," the song, which
Right.
in and of itself is kind of a heavy tune. And I was into
Right.
like metal at the time. I'm like, all right, these guys can. It's kind of like got a hooky chorus, and this rest of the song's pretty heavy. Like good guitar players. You go get that album, and then I'm like listening to Down Boys, and I'm like,
That video with them doing the football plays in it is just like, so awful. They
Yeah,
got
Mike,
better,
Mike,
though,
I
after that.
seen Warrant open up for Paul Stanley at Showcase in Comac
oh my god.
in February of 1988. It was right
think I-
before
I
the
think
album
I
broke.
saw
I had the
that.
promo copy of the record. Fucking place was packed because it was Paul Stanley solo, but they opened up. It was fucking crazy. Yeah,
Now, how many people did that hold?
it was. I mean, you were there. I mean, everyone was there. It was a
Yeah.
fucking long. I don't
It
know.
was like a long corridor,
It was a long card. It
Like
was
1,000 people probably in
Yeah.
there.
fucking tiny.
1,000 people. But you
Yep, it
add
was right
Gene
before
Simmons
Warren
to it,
broke. It
and
was-
then it's like 35 billion people will go.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
You know. Speaking of, I'm chastising Gene Simmons. He was listed as he was supposed to be at the Taylor Hawkins thing yesterday. He wasn't there. Fuck you, Gene. Just fuck you.
Oh shit.
All
Because I
right,
was
Mike,
like,
that's it for cover to cover. I'll be owning that now.
I'm
And
going
next
to.
time we do a podcast, I'll tell my Gene Simmons story. That's
Oh, he's got a classic.
Oh no!
Well,
tell
tell
it
it.
now.
Tell it
Tell
now.
it now. We're here. Why not?
Let's want to do it.
Yeah.
Oh, so
All right.
great.
So it had to be. I think it was like 1998. It
We
was
were
just
doing
me
the
and Jimmy.
album.
We were driving into Hollywood. It was. I think it was on Vine. It was right around the corner from where the Star was.
Sunset and Vine.
In Hollywood. And it was early in the morning. So me and Jimmy we were going to Canoga Park to
Studio.
Rumbo to do back and go whatever. We were just overdubs and stuff. Just me and Jimmy. Early in the morning. At the time I had a bag and I kept shit in there and stuff, and I had a camera with it was a camera with
Always
film
had
in
a
it,
camera
because I
with
just would always just have pop a picture with somebody.
Yeah.
So I had the bag, and Jimmy pulls up to a bank with the where you take
Bank
out
of
money and stuff,
America.
and
Bank of America.
and all of a sudden I see Gene. He's got the blue shirt, the black pants, the hat, and I'm like, holy shit, that's
The
fucking
denim
Gene.
shirt.
Yeah.
And we saw the
he's-
back of him, and he's like, "That looks like Gene." Holy shit, that's Gene.
Yeah. So like, oh my god. So we get out, and he's taking money out of whatever this, the bank thing. So and I'm kind of running up to him fast. Like I'm like, holy shit, I gotta fucking say hi to him. Maybe get a picture with him. So and I do that. So he finishes what he's doing. He's walking, and I kind of run
Around the
up to him
corner, he
fast.
goes around the corner. Mark chases him.
Pulls around the corner. I'm kind of running, kind of not, but I'm like running up to him, and I got
jog.
the bag, and I'm all excited. And I go to stop him. Now Jimmy's like kind of like maybe, I don't know, like
20
30
feet back or something.
He's 20, 30. So he's seeing the whole thing. So I'm like, gee, I go to approach him, and he turns around, and the first thing he says, and he's fucking gigantic. The first thing he says is, he's like, whoa, my first instinct. He's like, my first instinct is to strike. And he does like a karate. He actually does. He gets up and he does a karate kick. He's like, my first thing. He's like, and then I'm just like, so I'm looking up to him. I got the bag in my hand, and my jaw is open. And he's like, you don't go running up to a person after they've taken money out. And he's like, and I'm just like,
My first instinct is to strike.
And that's literally what and I'm just melting, and all I wanted was a fucking picture, and just to tell him what a fucking big fan I was. That's all. And that's how it ended. He just kind of,
Mark
and he
goes
just
to
shook
shake
his
his
head
hand,
and
he
walked
wouldn't
away,
even
and I was just like
fucking
this with
shake
the
his
bag in my
hand.
hand. And Jimmy's like looking behind me, like in the back, like, and I was just like, oh my god.
Any shred I had of respect for him,
Oh my
fucking
God.
completely vanished in that moment.
Yep.
You know,
And then the
told
funny
you.
thing is with the whole strike thing. So we go back to this. So we go to the studio with Mike Klink. I told everyone the story because I'm like, fucking. I was just like,
He was so bummed.
I was just horrified. I was just like, oh my god, I fucking got yelled at by Gene Simmons. So I told Mike Klink the story. So Mike Klink is like, he's like, oh yeah, that's funny. He knows everybody. So Mike Klink is like, oh, my wife does kickboxing classes with him. So it makes he's like, oh, he's like he's there at the kickbox. He's like, he hits on all the girls and he flirts, but he's like, he's in my wife's kickboxing class. I'm like, that fucking makes perfect sense because he's like, my first instinct and that's legitimate quotes. My first instinct is to strike. Right.
You know, Mark, if you had approached me in a very different manner and given me $50, I would have been more than happy to be gracious to you.
Exactly.
But instead, you approached me,
or
and
had I been a chick with fucking tits popping out and fucking blonde, it would have been a
That
different
goes
story.
without
That's an
saying.
amazing Gene Simmons impersonation, I gotta say.
Yeah.
And I must say, if you did have large breasts, money would not have to change hands, but bodily fluids
That's
would.
it. Yeah.
Now, at the same time, as you
To
were
thy
charging
oneself be true.
me, as you were charging me, I had to break out my Kiss Jitsu, which is
Exactly.
a special Kiss
Copyright.
dojo.
Kiss Jitsu.
Yeah, copyrighted with a K.
Yes,
Copyright with a K. Kiss Jitsu.
copyright
You know-
Kiss Jitsu, $49.99 monthly lessons.
Kissonline.com.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, man, I vividly remember this whole thing.
Oh, yeah, 'cause
I
you
forgot
saw it
so
from the
many
back 'cause
things.
I was running, so Jimmy's like, I love Jimmy in the dust.
We
So he
pulled up
sees
because I
this-
need to get money out of the ATM. Now, keep in mind, Gene, that you can only take out $300 from the ATM.
Right.
This just goes to show you how fucking cheap he is.
Yeah.
He was like, no, you don't walk up to someone when they've been at an ATM. My first instinct is to strike.
He always loves to give the life lesson, like he was giving Mark some real intense life
absolutely.
thing there.
I felt like I was being scolded by like my dad or something. Like, like my dad would
Your
never
dad's
do, like,
way cooler than that. He would never do that.
No, but yeah, exactly. And it was looking, and he had the, like pointing the finger like this. I was just like, I was fucking humiliated.
Best
by
fucking Gene Simmons story
Oh
ever.
my
Every
God.
time people talk about that, I tell them that story because
Yeah,
it's
no,
just,
I
like,
mean, yeah, I remember
so
you told,
ridiculous.
Jim Freaks and stuff. Everyone knows it's fucking, it's
Oh
ridiculous.
my God, that's awesome.
It's
Well,
fantastic.
that's a good note to go out on. So,
Yeah, right.
what I will say here is, wait, we have to do this the right way. Where is it? There we go. That's our background music, our outro music, which I wrote and recorded myself. To say,
I love it.
it's a good, not power pop jingle. But again, thank you all for watching Cover to Cover. My name is Mike Venezia. That is Nick Morocco. Nick, what store do you own?
Rock City Music Company.
Where can we find you?
RockCityMusicCo.com, or if you're local to the Detroit area, 5 Mile in Farmington.
Exactly.
You got it. In
Yep.
Livonia.
And thank you to FUZZBUBBLE. Jason's not here anymore. We can talk about him later. Ringo still sucks.
No, he doesn't.
Jim,
No, he
thank
doesn't.
you so much for joining us. Best of luck in the shows. And may
for
you
having
do
me.
something on the West Coast so I can come see you guys, which would be super killer awesome. Play the Troubadour. That'd be fun. Why not?
Why not? Sounds great.
I'm in.
Canyon Club.
I'm in.
Canyon, any club, whatever. Canyon, mountain, hill. I don't care. You know, just pick a club.
Forum.
Yeah, do the forum.
That'd be great.
We can open for Kiss. Just don't run up to him after you've been at the ATM machine.
Make sure you hit like and subscribe, people. Thank you so much.
Take care.